day under the mask where you yawn, you yawn with glee and passion. But the mask also, and what's the effect of, COVID-19 mask wearing on oral health?
It means you breathe your own
waga. So we're looking at oral health and the impact of COVID-19 on that at 6:30 this morning. My name is Kaf. My breath is fresh. I hope yours is too. Yes, indeed. We are fresh breath people.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully, you are not too much exerted from yesterday's excitement because Easter is over and today is the first working day of the week, even though it is Tuesday. April this month is also Financial Literacy Awareness Month, and there's a campaign to make you and I more aware of the issues surrounding our finances. We'll be sitting down with a team of experts to look into that matter a bit more. Thanks for joining us. My name is Delma Taki. This is Breakfast Live on GTV, made possible by Wake Purified Water and Adunku Next Level Energy Drink.
We'll be checking out, keep an eye, coming from the Upper West. It has to do with water bodies and fish. So you'll be getting that on our show. We've got our sports news at 7, and I know that Thelma is not going to be too happy with the sports news, and Maltiti is going to be turning the screw.
The kind of high I'm on, I doubt anything can bring
anything can bring you down. Okay, all right. So Maltiti brings the sports bulletin at 7 o'clock. I sit down with my guests, Dr. Odro Osai from the Internal Audit Agency. I have to audit my words. And then Professor Mauto, he's from UPSA. And we'll be looking at the stories making the headlines in the news. Our WhatsApp number is 055556 1034. Can you look behind me and see what the label is? Yes.
Is this?
Yes.
Is this Stallone?
Yes. No.
It's a Harry Stitch.
Yes. So Harry Stitch. Thank you very much. I love the way you are making me look pinky.
We are coordinating nicely.
Yes, and another person is about to coordinate nicely with us with the news at 6 o'clock. Forget it. Yes, real people wear pink. So we've got the breakfast news coming up right now. Val will tell you about your well segment later on. But for now, you're welcome to the show. Oral Health at 6:30, sports at 7. My breakfast news coming up in 30 seconds. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us on GTV Breakfast News at 6 a.m. Sadiq stories making headlines. Police arrest robbery suspects in conjunction with some cars stolen. Also, construction works on the Kumasi International Airport still ongoing. Paragliding activities in Kwewu also ends. And on the foreign front, we'll be looking at the floods that are still hitting South Africa. Let's start off with the police have arrested 6 armed robbery suspects in connection with a series of robberies, including carjacking in Greater Accra and Central regions.
Made through a targeted intelligence-led operation between April 15 and 17, 2022, the 6 suspects, Jibrila Musa Elias Danturi, Hussein Sampa, Daniel Akwa, Jonathan Sechi, Mike Ojo and Ade Adebanjo, were arrested at various locations across the 2 regions. The police, in a statement signed by its director, Public Affairs, Superintendent Alexander Oben, said items retrieved so far from the suspects are 1 locally manufactured gun, 1 foreign pistol, a cache of ammunition, 2 iPhones and 4 wristwatches. One of the stolen vehicles has also been retrieved. The police said the suspects have, during interrogations, admitted to their involvement in robberies over the years and are helping the police in investigations. Police further indicated that it has made contact with some of the victims as part of its strategy to give them closure with regard to their unpleasant experiences with the armed robbers. The police is assuring the public of its commitment to providing a peaceful and safe environment for all Ghanaians.
Now, the second phase of the Kumasi International Airport is about 98% complete, and the Ashanti Regional Council, RECSEC, is happy about the security installations so far. The security installations are currently being tested to receive international flights by August 2022. This was disclosed during an inspection tour of the facility by RECSEC.
The $75.23 million second phase of the expansion project involves the construction of a new passenger terminal and multiple service facilities at the airport. The new terminal will have the capacity to handle more than 1 million passengers a year upon its completion. The existing runway will be extended from the current length of 1,981 meters to 2,300 meters, enabling the airport to accommodate wide-body aircraft. Work on the second phase to make the Kumasi International Airport to meet global standards is about 98% complete. Simulation exercise on a modern technology to detect narcotics, one of the major security threats of airports worldwide, was ongoing. A trial test on an installed equipment to also detect aircrafts several kilometers away from the airport was also ongoing. The project manager of contractor, Mr. Alan Frazetto, told members of RECSEC that with work done so far, the facility will be officially handed over by close of August 2022. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osei Mensah, was impressed with work done so far.
I'm impressed. It's not that I'm flattering them because they are here. I think you've all witnessed. You can see the level of improvement from the last time you came here in December last year. As they promised, it means we are even going to go live earlier than they said. Previously, when we came here, the president, they assured us that by October, we will start receiving the first international flight. Today, we've been informed that August, they will go live.
The minister and his entourage also inspected ongoing works under the Greater Kumasi Road projects, which is also progressing steadily.
The sun has set on the 2022 Kwewu Paragliding Festival, and the desire of many a thrill-seeking holiday maker is for the government to train more local pilots for an all-year-round event to generate more revenue for the country. At the closing ceremony, the Eastern Regional Director of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Mr. Ajay Rudolph, said organizing the event is capital-intensive. He therefore appealed to corporate organizations to support them whenever they seek sponsorship.
There were more than 100 passengers with 13 paragliding pilots, including 2 Ghanaians at the event. Paragliding is an aviation sport enjoyed by hundreds of people around the world. It is very popular in Europe, where there is an estimated 400,000 pilots. Paragliding flights may be performed by a single pilot or an experienced pilot together with a passenger with no flying experience attached to the same canopy. The Eastern Regional Director of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Mr. Ajay Rudolph, in his closing remarks, commended all who contributed in diverse ways to the success of the program.
It's been largely successful, and we can just hope and pray that we'll build on what we've done now to do it much more better.
One of the pilots from USA, Mr. Chuck Smith, described Odrianoma paragliding field as one of the best in the world. He, however, urged the Ghana Tourism Authority to plant carpet grass on the landing site to push it to landing better.
The launch facility here on the mountain is beautiful, world class, can't be better. What we need to concentrate on is the landing area down there in Nkoko, in the sports stadium. We need good grass and we need big open area, because if we don't have a place to land, we can't fly.
Some of the patrons shared their experiences with GBC News.
And it was just awesome, exciting. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it was really awesome. We came here,
wow,
and the people greeted us and showed us where to go. And it was really easy, actually. We just talked to the pilots, and they did the rest, basically.
It was very fun. Oh, my too many. It was really beautiful. I think it's a one-of-a-lifetime experience, and everyone should come and do it. amazing.
It was still a unique one. I mean, the 10 minutes I spent there, I'm definitely coming back.
Let's look at advocacy for tree planting. And an Islamic scholar and head of the Shia community in the northern region, Sheikh Abdul Mumin Dalhu, is using this year's holy month of Ramadan to campaign for tree planting. He says the increasing change in climatic conditions requires that urgent steps are taken to save the planet from a major catastrophe. Sheikh Dalhu, in an interview with GBC News, urged Muslims to emulate Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's example of planting trees and protect the environment.
The northern region has witnessed unusual rainfall patterns. One of the most visible impacts of this pattern of rainfall has been the perennial floods recorded in most parts of the region, especially the regional capital Tamale. The fast-growing metropolis and its neighbor, the Sanrego municipality, have over the last 5 years recorded at least one death through result of floods after heavy downpours. The region has also witnessed increase in temperature, with many residents now turning to air conditioning to cool their homes. The Energy Technology Center of the University of Development Studies warns that the situation is leading to unsustainable use of energy. The head of the center, Mr. Isahaku Mubarak, has advised that residents increase tree planting to address the increase in temperatures.
Tree planting is part of our way of life. Trees have become an integral part of our everyday life because it's contributing to reducing the greenhouse gas effect. Although the earth cannot be without the greenhouse effect, but if it's not, we don't manage the emissions at a control rate or in a sustainable way, become detrimental to our own survival. And the trees are the easiest greenhouse gas effect absorbers.
The leader of the Shai community in the northern region, who doubles as the Zango chief of Tamale, Sheikh Abdul Mumin Dalhu, is using this year's holy month of Ramadan to campaign for tree planting, saying it has both physical and spiritual benefits.
The trees, they serve as the lungs of the earth. So can you imagine a living body without lungs? So we need to encourage to have more plants, and the heat that we are experiencing obviously will come to the minimum. Plant trees when you are happy. If your wife delivered for the outdooring, you plant tree. For any wedding, plant tree. Funeral as well, you plant tree. If you are happy that you are in Ramadan for the life given to you, please plant tree. We should cultivate that habit.
Despite the sensitization, tree planting in the northern region remains a Herculean task due to the scarcity of water.
Now today on Chopology, we are serving you this hot, spicy and delicious popular street food, which is essentially Ghana's shish kebab, with such a lyrical name and an irresistible aroma. Chinchinga is just meat that has been rubbed with a spice mix, then skewered and grilled. Sit back and treat your taste buds to a sampling of this quick snack.
Chichinga, Ghana's kebab. Small in size, big in flavor, and with a variety of meat to choose from, this snack always gets the taste buds going. This hot spicy peanut marinade is amazing on just about any meat: beef, chevron, mutton, chicken, and even sausage. However, chevron, or what many call goat meat, is typically used for preparing chichinga.
They just as how you take your meal in the day. You know, someone can eat heavily, someone too cannot eat heavily. So it depends on you yourself how you wish to take it. Someone can take 2, someone can take more than 2. So it's individual different.
The ingredients are meat, onions, spices, and yadzi powder, or what we call the kebab powder. The main ingredient, which is meat, is washed and diced according to one's preference, usually small enough to make it manageable on the skewer. Next, There is a marinade which is commonly made of various traditional spices including garlic, onions, ginger and chili, blended to a thick paste and added to diced meat. It is left to marinate for a while. The goal of the marinade is first to add a base flavor and also act as a coating for the yadzi powder to stick when it is added in the final stage before grilling. The diced meat is arranged on skewers with onions added to each layer for an appealing look. The yadzi powder is sprinkled on the kebab.
Well, the fire you have to do slowly so that you can put them and turn them and just put small oil. How way they can bend. Where you go cook normal before it turn out.
With skewers made, throw them on the grill for a few minutes on each side and timed to prevent burning.
5 minutes is enough for it. Sometimes the meat will give nutrition. So when you make it keeps long on the fire too, the nutrition in the food. So at least 5 minutes is enough. The reason is to prevent the meat from burning.
Voila! You have made yourself a fresh rack of delicious chichinga.
The remains of 8 Fulani herdsmen who were killed at Zakoli, a community in the Yendi municipality of the Northern region, have been laid to rest in Tamale in accordance with Islamic tradition.
Were identified as Malam Osman, Alaji Bakum, Yaya Jalu, Kadiri Jalu, Umar Jalu, Haruna Jalu, Shaibu Wubi, and an unknown person. Last Wednesday, April 13, some unknown persons besieged Zakudi, a nomadic settler community, and killed 8 persons. 4 other people sustained gunshot injuries and are receiving treatment at the Yendi Government Hospital. On Sunday, April 17, 2022, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, presented 60,000 cedis to the bereaved families and the injured. Vice President made the presentation when he visited the community to commensurate with the bereaved families. The chief of Zakodi, Na Abubakari and Dani, received the money for onward disbursement to the affected families. Families of the 8 deceased persons will each receive 5,000 cedis for the burial right, whilst the 4 injured persons will also receive 5,000 cedis each for their medical bills and upkeep. Dr. Baumia gave the assurance that the government will dispatch relief items within the week to the community to support the victims.
On the international front, the South African military says is deploying more than 10,000 troops to help with relief and rescue operations following the devastating floods that swept through parts of KwaZulu-Natal province last week. More than 440 people have died and the search is continuing for 63 people who are still missing.
In a statement, the South African National Defence Force said its troops would bolster search and rescue operations as well as assist in transporting aid to victims. Army plumbers and electricians would also work in areas that have been without water and electricity for a week. The government has declared KwaZulu-Natal a disaster area. KwaZulu-Natal Premier Shili Zikalala said that nearly 4,000 homes were destroyed and more than 8,000 were damaged, most in the coastal city of Durban and its surrounding areas. Nearly 300 schools and some health facilities have also been damaged. During a visit to flood-affected areas last week, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa said the government would spare no expense to rebuild the infrastructure and assist all affected families. Experts have said that climate change may be contributing to changing patterns and making such extreme events more frequent.
More than 40 people have been arrested after violent clashes in Sweden between police and people angry at plans by a far-right group to ban copies of the Holy Quran. 3 people were injured in Nokoping when officers fired warning shots at rioters.
Swedish politician Mr. Rasmus Paludan. He says he has burned a copy of Islam's holy book and wants to do so again. Muslims consider the Quran the sacred word of God and view any intentional damage or show of disrespect towards it as deeply offensive. Saudi Arabia has condemned what it called the deliberate abuse of the Holy Quran by some extremists in Sweden and provocation and incitement against Muslims. Iran and Iraq earlier summoned the Swedish ambassadors to lodge protests. Sweden's national police chief said he had never seen such violent riots following the clashes in Norrköping. On Monday, police said 26 police officers and 14 members of the public had been injured in the violence and that more than 20 vehicles had been damaged or destroyed. They said that around 200 people had been involved in the violence, adding they believed it was organized by networks of criminal gangs. Protests against plans by Mr. Kers to ban the Quran have turned violent in Sweden before. In 2020, protesters set cars on fire and shop fronts were damaged in clashes in Malmö.
And that's it for GTV Breakfast News at 6 a.m. I am Multi Decider Sadek. Up next is the weather report. After wait, Valerie bring to you Keep an Eye. The show still continues. Stay with us.
Me, you come 1 week, Mr. Oh, now, yes, Nade, senior, name me and you cut down my business is a collapse. I'm out of bounds. So, take quick credit in car. Quick credit? Yes, quick credit. Who Pesica? Eddie Astatia, you may be. We have been Eddie Atru Jodium. We are government and a private worker. Who Pesica de Atil Hortus? We are Busumi Juma. We are Sicadia, Bibin Tempest. Quick credit, Bema loan, and what you are in Kakaka. Now, and let just some Cassian say. A collateral free loaner, Susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit. Here and say, Wagana card 2022 year, 1 year Juma, now 1 hour young. Who need excuse here? Quick credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 20833. Basina quick credit take us auto.
Minyanum Ghana fo minyim de abanere ye mobo tuma ye biara na we to malaria si efi Ghana na mo aka hen kakra yesra ban na nimpanyimfo na aboafo a wo abrochi de won bua national malaria control program na sika kakra wo de be hyen kina na wo da aboa hen na de adwuma ye di ye de ye pede ye to malaria si fi Ghana adwuma wura afo so yesra won se ye bo wa abo ma won bo yen hwe enyim de se yetum malaria asifi Ghana ha obotuma saving him $22.1 billion inyo won ma ye biane emfamboa yam patem yen clean ho nyina fine baby yenyim de ntontom orodor wo hoy pocho yen keep ho nyina clean ena munua opemfo mo pocho se nyinse na ehudam free insecticide treated mosquito net awu na webusuafo mo wonder se na adenche ati metu ma awafa wo ho asana afa wo ba wo from on Henry gift na afia danso anti amini one national zero malaria advocate na ene masamiti awa ma America anyi de se yebotum etu malaria sa a yebotum ayeso a obefia me anawo malaria away
Mago! Listen, I have good news for you. This is guaranteed to make you rich forever and ever.
I know what you're searching for. I'm alerting you.
Ajay, madam, please.
QNet does not make false promises.
What did Mama tell you?
Report suspicious activities at 0256 630 005. Remember to stay safe. Mama and QNet are here for you. Don't forget what Mama said.
From the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
We are shuffling off to the northern part of Ghana, specifically the Upper West region, where we have some inkling that some fishermen in some communities allegedly poisoned a river that passes through the Gbele Resource Reserve in the Sisala West District. Also, the act was to enable the fishermen to catch more fish for sale ahead of the Easter festivities. Unfortunately, this has gone south and of the fish dying. Now, our correspondent in the Upper West region, Swala Abdul Wahab, joins us via phone to give us some insights and to let us know what really is on the ground. He joins us via phone now. Good morning, Swala.
Good morning, Valerie.
Swala, thank you for joining us. Swala, can you tell us what exactly is the situation now? What happened?
Well, what we have picked up is that on Saturday, some fishermen, but even before I get to what happened, let me take you to where the park is. The Gbele Reserve Resource is one of the largest gazetted resource reserves in Ghana. It was created in 1975, and it has a land square of 565 square kilometers. Reserve is located in 4 districts of the 11 districts in the Upper West region. So it starts from Sisala East Municipality through the Wa East to Sisala West and then to the Dafiama-Buse Isa district. So this reserve passes through 4 districts of the region and so polluted the river. So when we got there, where we noticed that some of the fishes were floating on the water, and some have even rotten. Some of the fishes have rotten, and they were lying at the edges of the river. And according to Dr. Mabie, his men were on normal patrol on Saturday when they came across these people doing their own thing. And what we are told by the management of the park is that they used chemicals. In fact, we saw some containers of chemicals which were believed to have been used by these fishermen and poured onto the water, making some of the fishes very weak. So they were able to harvest some of the fishes and smoke them on the bed of the river. So when the guards encountered them, they ran away, leaving behind a motorbike, some cash, and a mobile phone. So the case was reported to the Tumu Police Command that visited the area, and as we speak now, the police are investigating the incident. So that is what has happened at the Gbele Reserve.
Right. Swala, do we know if some of the fish has maybe found its way onto the markets?
That is the belief of the stakeholders. Indeed, the Fisheries Commission Director in Upper West here, Madam Sarah Bami, was so worried that some of the rotten fish or the fish that have been poisoned could find its way onto the market. And her worry was that when that happens, people are likely to experience health problems. So she appealed to people, particularly the surrounding communities of the Gbele Reserve, to be on the lookout for fishermen who will come and sell smoked fish to them, particularly when it appears to be cheap. Because the fishermen may be afraid that if they sell the fish at the normal price that they have been selling, they will be caught. And so they will want to dispose it off as quickly as possible so that they will be able to run away from arrest.
Right. Swala, from your account, the river passes through a couple of communities. Does this mean that we might perhaps find other animals drinking from the same water source?
Rightly so, and even the animals that are found in the Bele Reserve itself. So the park manager was also worried that the animals in the reserve could drink from the river, and when that happens, Valerie, you and I know the likely implications of the situation. And the other issue too is that the Fisheries Commission says it is worried that the region has no fish hatchery, and so the Commission gets its fingerlings from some of these natural reserves. So once this is poisoned, what it means is that the Commission has to wait till next year, by which time this poison would have passed, so that they will be able to get fish fingerlings to be able to stock other reserves. Secondly, when this water runs to other places, we are almost in the rainy season. If the concentration is high, the likelihood of other organisms in the water feeling the effect of the chemical in the water is also high. So the ranger describes the action of the fishermen as unpatriotic, and according to them, the police will pursue them and get them arrested. And he hinted that just last month, one person was arrested for the same offense. And when that person was prosecuted at the Tumu courts, he was fined 200 penalty units, which is around 2,500. The manager says the fine was not deterrent enough, and possibly that is what has encouraged these other fishermen to come and do what their colleague did, and he was fined only 2,500 Ghana cedis.
Well, thank you very much for those updates, Swala, and keep us updated as to what happens, and remember to keep safe yourself. Thank you. That was
we'll give our viewers full reports of this in our 14 hours and subsequent bulletins.
Right, so thank you, Swala. That was Upper West Regional Correspondent Swala Abdulwahab with that report. Coming up, we'll take a quick break, and Kafui is standing by. And Health Check today, we are discussing how COVID-19 affected oral health. So if you want to join the conversation, join it via WhatsApp number 05555561034, or use the hashtag GTV Breakfast on all the social media. And then also we are live on Facebook as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, live on YouTube as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Handing over to Kaf. Kaf, take us away. Yep.
Hi. Say, I remember that when I was growing up and they were feeding you. But today, these open jaws and set of teeth should give you an inkling of what we're going to be discussing this morning. Have you brushed your teeth, by the way? If you've been up for the past 30 minutes, 1 hour, you should be brushing your teeth, okay? We don't want no morning mouth on anybody else. We're looking at how COVID-19 has affected the health of your mouth, your tongue, and the whole activity. What's it been like, walking around wearing masks? What's that whole, how has it even affected not just you, but even the whole business of dental care, those who provide dental care for you and I? My guest is an orthodontic consultant from Platinum Orthodontic and Advanced Dental Services, and she's here to talk about how COVID-19 has affected oral health. Dr. Novishi Akutu. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's really good to have you here.
It's good to be back.
Fantastic. When you think about COVID-19, the immediate thing is not what's going on in your mouth, but tell us exactly how COVID-19 has impacted oral health care.
Yes, I think that this is quite an important topic because what happened and its effects are probably going to be felt now. Because with dentistry, there's always a lag phase between what happens and when the effects are seen. So for us with COVID-19, dentistry had what we call the triple whammy. So what do we mean by the triple whammy? The first thing is that we have a lot of close and intimate contacts with our patients. So there's the close proximity. Secondly, we work with saliva. And then thirdly, the drills and the things that we use actually create aerosols. So you can imagine that in the peak of March 2020, when everybody was scared of aerosols, etc., people rightly in the dentist. In fact, we need to remember that when they looked at the professions that were going to be most at risk from COVID, 3 of the dental professions were in the top 5 positions.
Wow.
So
what were they?
So it was dentists, hygienists, and dental nurses. So it was literally the whole dental body and team that work with patients.
The saliva industry.
The saliva industry, exactly. And we also need to remember that as a result of that, the Ghana Health Service mandated that all dental practices shut and move on to emergency care.
Wow.
So it was quite a big thing in the industry. What is really interesting, though, is now that we have sufficient data to actually look at the research, it's coming out that the dental professions themselves are probably one of the safest professions because, of course, we always wore masks. And now the only thing that has really changed is that previously we'll take our mask off to be able to see your face and build rapport because teeth are important and smiling, etc. But then the minute we put you back in the chair, even prior to COVID, we'll put a mask on. So the masks were extremely effective, both in the industry and out.
The way you put it, that the dentists work with saliva, I mean, I never really thought about it, but it actually is true.
Yeah, and then we take our gels and we generate aerosols in the saliva.
What are the aerosols?
So the aerosols are little droplets of saliva, and obviously whenever you're having a clean or whenever a dentist is drilling in your mouth and using water, then little droplets are actually being formed around you. So that's why we were deemed to be at such a risk. But coming out of it, or at least now that we have a better control and understanding of what COVID-19 is, a lot of things have been put in place. And the really, really encouraging thing, as I said, out as one of the safest professions, and that a lot of the things that we were doing previously were combating that. Unfortunately, though, the effects in the oral cavity is being felt. And one of the major things is routines. So it's really, really interesting. People have a routine as to when they brush their teeth. So some people will get into the shower, straight after the shower, they'll brush their teeth. Some people will have breakfast, and then brush their teeth, and then rush into the car to go to work or school. But the minute schools stopped, the minute working from home became a thing, all of those anchor points were actually lost. So what you'd find is that people will be at home and will suddenly realize that, oh, it's 11:30.
I haven't brushed my teeth.
I haven't brushed my teeth.
So people walking around with morning mouth.
Exactly.
Oh boy.
Way into the afternoon. So a lot of the habits actually were lost. The second thing is checkups. So obviously we're meant to see the doctors twice a year. But during the COVID period, we were all doing emergency care. So we have a lot of people who miss their 6 monthly checkups. Why do we worry about that? We worry about that because 6 monthly checkups is about prevention. And other than prevention, it's also about checking the whole oral cavity, making sure that you're not getting any mouth cancers, making sure that you're not getting any oral pathology that's actually creeping in. So now we have all of those people who have actually missed those sort of appointments. Then we have the fact that treatments were broken off. So you were in the middle of a course of treatment that had been prescribed. You did the first 2 or 3 out of 7, and then COVID happened, and now you've forgotten about it. Yeah. So there's this thing about habits, and we need to now go back into the habits and start thinking, oh, did I miss my checkups? I need to go back. Did I did I complete my treatment plan? I need to go back into my treatment plan. So that is the first thing, getting back on the bike, getting back into what you were doing, and picking up those good habits.
How about the incidence of more snacking? Because now you are home and then you can just basically eat when you want.
Exactly.
By heart, as we say in Ghana.
So and so now the fridge has become the go-to place.
Yeah.
You're bored, you go into the fridge.
Inside. We all do that. You know, open the fridge and you look inside and you smile at the fridge and you close it.
And then you close
then
it.
you come back and you open it again.
And you're like, oh, I actually want something. So exactly, all of those routines really, really went to pot. Children being at home, eating whatever they actually wanted to eat. And again, the reason why we're discussing this now is that all of those sorts of effects sometimes take a year and a half to be seen. So you're expecting to see more children with decay because now they were snacking more. And we'll be looking at that in a little bit more detail later. So we are just asking everybody to go back to pre-COVID habits, okay? You need to be doing your checkups. You need to get back into routines in terms of brushing your teeth. You need to complete all of your treatment plans so that we can literally try and get back on board with our oral health.
If you just joined us, you're welcome. We're looking at how COVID-19 has affected oral health. My guest is Dr. Novishi Akutu, and you can send your questions to her right now on 055-556-1034. She is an orthodontic consultant. She works with saliva on a daily basis. All right, let's talk about mask mouth. What is that?
Yeah, so
and
you
how crazy was it?
So there were a lot of terms that came about, within the COVID frame, and this notion of mask mouth became quite widespread, and everybody at some stage put on their mask and thought, oh my gosh, my mouth doesn't smell good, or my breath doesn't smell good. So exactly what are we determining or defining as mask mouth? The first thing is that when people put on the mask, it becomes more difficult to breathe. So in order for people to breathe more easily, a lot of people started breathing through their mouth rather than their nose. The second thing is that usually when you're not wearing a mask, your tongue is quite elevated. Again, what people started doing when you have your mask on, myself included, which is why I know, is that you tend to open your mouth a bit and let your tongue drop. Now, those things are going to have certain effects. The first thing that's going to happen is that your mouth is going to feel quite dry, okay? You're going to get a dry mouth. Also, you are recycling carbon dioxide. So when you breathe in, you're meant to breathe in oxygen, you're meant to breathe out carbon dioxide, but now you have the mask there. So you're breathing back the carbon dioxide back in and out. And with that, you're having to breathe even heavier, which means that your mouth is becoming more and more dry. So what happens when your mouth becomes dry? We have to think of saliva as a water hose. And the whole point of saliva is to dilute everything that's in your mouth and then to jet wash the teeth. So you have to think about your car going to have a jet wash.
Yes. Yeah.
Now we have decreased the saliva, everything is dry. So everything sticks to the teeth and the gums. So all of a sudden, all the food you eat, etc., is not being washed away. It's going to stay there. It's going to form a film. We had a lot of people who are now coming back for cleans, etc., where they are etc. So those are the sort of things that we are talking about. And if you couple that with the increase in snacking, we are now beginning to form the perfect environment for tooth decay.
It seems like a lot going on there. Dry mouth, bad breath, bleeding gums.
Yes.
How can you improve this very, very not nice situation?
Okay, so there are a few things that you can do. We need you to be more conscientious about rehydration. Okay?
What does that mean? What is rehydration?
So we want you to be carrying bottles of water.
Drinking water.
And we mean water, nothing else other than water, okay? And to be sipping frequently. So if you're in the car alone, you can remove your mask, take a sip, pop your mask back on. So we need the rehydration. The second way of getting the saliva to flow is by chewing sugar-free gum. Please know that it has to be sugar-free gum.
Sugar-free gum.
Okay? And the sugar-free gum is going to stimulate saliva in your mouth to give you what we need to clean the mouth and to do that jet wash. Okay. The third thing that we are asking is that when you are brushing now, we want you to be more conscientious about what you're doing. And by that, we mean that the first area where the plaque is going to form is always close to the gum. So interestingly, we always talk about brushing your teeth, but at the moment, we also ask you to focus on brushing the gum. We don't want the huge scrubbing motion, but small round movements around the gum is really, really going to help because that's where the food gets stuck first and foremost.
And for avoidance of doubt, the gum is the pink.
Yes, so the gum is the pink or the skin around the teeth. So you're going to go all of the way around the gum.
Okay.
And the fourth thing that we're really pushing or promoting at the moment is to go back and see your dentist. So if you missed your 6-monthly clean or all of a sudden it's been 2 years since you actually went in, go back in, get them to do a professional clean. Let's wipe the slate clean so that you have a better chance of maintaining that good oral health.
And twice a year is what you recommend, right?
Twice a year is the recommendation unless told otherwise by your personal dentist.
Okay. Let's talk about the effects of stress on oral health care. Can you just give us examples of what's going on in the mouth?
Okay, so the thing with COVID is that it caused a lot of stress. People lost a lot of jobs. There was a lot of uncertainty. And the way that your teeth are and where they are depends on some of the muscles. So what I want you to do for me, Kafu, is just to put your hands here.
Yeah,
and then clench your jaws together. And when you clench, you should feel something bulge out. Okay?
Hopefully it's not my brains.
No, not quite. And that's a very, very strong muscle.
Yeah, very.
Okay? So when you are relaxed or just going about your daily life, you are meant to have 1.5 to 2 millimeter gap in between your teeth. Okay? We never think about it. It's programmed that way. The minute you become stressed, what happens is that you clench your teeth together. And this poor muscle here is now overworking.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
This gets exacerbated when you are sleeping, and then people have what's termed nocturnal grinding or bruxism. And what that literally means is that at night, rather than having this gap between your teeth are clamped together and you're grinding them like this. Okay?
Like Pacochito.
Yes. Or like a goat, I guess, because sometimes the actual motion becomes quite circular.
Wow.
And whilst you do all of that, these muscles are having to work extra.
They're getting more pronounced.
They're getting more pronounced. It's literally like going to the gym and building muscles. And what happens when people wake up is that a few things start to happen. One of the things that start to happen is that they've built up lactic acid, like going to the gym, and everything feels a bit sore, especially in the morning.
It's almost like a workout.
Yes,
Full night
it's
workout.
exactly like a workout. The second thing that happens is that some people start to get jaw lock. So they find that they can't really open their mouth fully. They literally have to do this and move their jaws around to fully open.
Wow, that might be scary.
Yes, and some people can totally lock, and so they can't do that.
Lock jaw completely.
They can lock, yes.
What?
And so then you get a call saying, I woke up and I can't open fully.
How do you force it open?
So you don't force it open. We get you in, we examine you, and we counsel things and give you some exercise. So it's like physio, just for your jaws, to allow you to open incrementally and obviously stay on a soft diet.
Okay, great.
So that's one of the things. The second thing that actually happens with all of the force that you are placing on your teeth is that you start to crack your teeth or fillings. Okay.
They actually start breaking off.
It literally starts to break off. Okay. Also, especially if you've had certain dental treatment like root canal treatments, you haven't had a protective crown put on it, you can literally, through the grinding, all of a sudden wake up, open, and you literally hear a crack. And that's the tooth that has actually cracked. What? Okay. But a lot of people don't know that. They feel a bit of pain, and then it goes away. And interestingly, with cracks, the pain isn't with hot and cold or sweet things, which is what we usually get with dental decay. What happens with cracks is that the pain when you bite together. Because imagine your TV screen or your laptop screen having cracked, and the crack propagates. So it starts off in a corner, and then it goes further and further and further down.
Growing.
And now with your tooth, every time you bite together, it opens. It opens.
It's like a crack spreading on the windscreen.
Exactly. And that's when you feel the pain. So hot, cold is not hurting it, but whenever you bite on that particular tooth, it hurts. Okay. So we're getting the lockjaw symptoms, we're getting cracks or fillings, etc., of actual tooth, you know, also happening. So we're getting fillings being dislodged, etc. So we now end up in this quandary where there's a lot going on. And then you come to us dentists and we go, you're stressed, relax. Which obviously doesn't always work. But some of the counseling we do is to make you aware of the effects. Okay. And then, of course, if we can say that a lot of this is happening at night, then we can look at giving what are known as guards, which you wear at night, which means that you are clenching into something softer than your teeth, and that's going to offer you some protection for those teeth.
So I'm going to read a couple of messages that you have sent to us on the screen, 055-556-1034. Dr. Novishi Akutu is my orthodontic consultant guest. All right. So what's your advice for those who use pen knives to remove plaque? Pen knives.
Don't.
That's all. That's the best response I've heard. Just one word. Don't. Thank you. All right. There's more messages coming. Very educative program. Thank you so much. Vincent says, good morning, Doc. There are some people that have never brushed their teeth and they've never had toothache. How is this possible? By Vincent Baladong, Upper West.
So we need to remember that in order to get toothache, the tooth must have dissolved. And you need a few things to dissolve the tooth. But one of the major things you need is sugar. If you have a particular diet where you're not introducing sugars, especially processed sugars, okay, where you are using things, it doesn't have to be a toothbrush. We've talked about this before, that some of the local chewing sponges are actually excellent. And if you're in a place where you drink a lot of water, so that whatever is in your mouth is being diluted, then you can't get away with it. But there are some genetic elements to this, because some people's saliva are thicker and stickier than others. So there is some genetic predisposition to the ability to get tooth decay.
Never knew that there was different inconsistency as far as saliva is. So there's thick saliva.
There's thick saliva, there's thin saliva, and some saliva carries a lot more cavity-forming germs compared to others.
Makes you want to stop kissing people, but hey, let's continue.
Do you know what, Kafu? You can come for a saliva test. I will analyze your saliva.
I will come and show the results to the world. All right? Should we brush our teeth before or after breakfast? It's twice a day mandatory.
Okay, so let's start with the easy one. Twice a day is mandatory. And please note that some people opt to brush 3 times a day, but with the twice a day, we're also saying for 2 minutes. Doing what we call a teenage boy brush, which is usually about 35 seconds, is not going to do any good. We need the 2 minutes for all the goodies in the toothpaste, etc., to actually soak into the teeth.
Yes.
Then should we brush before or after breakfast? Really, really interesting question. Diversity within the profession itself. What we would say is that the ideal is to brush after breakfast, okay, but not straight after breakfast, which is what makes it difficult. The ideal is to have breakfast, leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes. So let the saliva do some of the work that it's meant to do first and then brush. But a lot of people need to think about their routine.
Thank you.
Because that may not fit into your routine and would rather you brushed before rather than not brush.
Thank you. Because with me, who wakes up at 4:30 and starts work at 6 o'clock, Thelma would run away if I had to wait to eat before I brush my teeth. Thelma, I need you around. Can you use 2 different brands of toothpaste at the same time?
We don't mind. We just want you to use the toothpaste that you enjoy using, as long as it's been approved by Ghana Dental Association, and as long as it has fluoride in it. Fluoride is good for you.
All right. Why do wisdom teeth grow late? And why is it so painful?
Okay. So they grow late because that's why they're called wisdom teeth. But also, the reason why they're so painful is because with evolution, we have become So what does that mean? Before, our diet used to be quite abrasive. So over the course of about 18 years, you'd erode your teeth by about 7 millimeters in between the teeth by eating a lot of maize, grains, etc. And then the teeth would move forward to give the space for the wisdom tooth to come out. Now our diets are so refined, etc. That doesn't happen. So the wisdom teeth a lot of the time do not have sufficient space to be able to come through and end up in the position that they are meant to end up.
Ton of messages for Dr. Akutu. We can't read them all, but I can direct you to how to get in touch with them so that you can get all your questions solved. You can call Platinum Dental on 0302-998-750, 0302-998-750 or 0508-923-041. You can find them on Instagram. You can find them on Facebook. Just look for Platinum Dental. And if you are still afraid of going to a dentist, give them in 30 seconds why you shouldn't be scared, Dr.
Please don't be scared. Let the dentist know about your actual fears. Try to arrive on time so that your adrenaline is not pumping. And once the dentists know, they'll give you extra time to actually explain what is going on so that the whole process for you is more comfortable.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Dr. Novishi Akutu is an orthodontic consultant from Platinum Dental. And the next time we see her here, God willing, we'll be looking at think before your drink, looking at the effect of various teeth on your various drinks on your teeth and your overall health. So that's something to look forward to. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to coming for my saliva test.
Let's do it.
And checking out my fangs and everything in my mouth. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Akutu.
Thank you. Have a great day.
I wish you the same. I love her dazzling smile. I want to have a smile like that. So next time you see me here talking about dentistry and things, I may have done my saliva test and then I'll show the results to you. All right. Here's somebody who has a dazzling smile and she has the spots in the palm of her hand. Ardent RTU and Liverpool fan. She's about to troll the Barca people. Her name is Maltiti Saida Sadiq. She's got the sports news right now on GTV.
Thank you for joining us on this side. It's GTV Breakfast Sports. I am Maltiti Saida Sadiq. Stories we'll be looking at the AFCON 2023, which will be happening today. The draw. Also be looking at the Ghana Premier League, women's football, and Cristiano Ronaldo loses his son, unfortunately. Also, we'll look at La Liga and Serie A. Let's start off with the AFCON 2023. And all is set for the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023 qualifier draw in South Africa tonight. It has been decided by the Confederation of African Football that a placement of the 48 countries into 4 pots of 12 will be determined by the latest FIFA rankings and not by a ranking of past AFCON performances. Meanwhile, CAF has also decided Kenya and Zimbabwe will be included in tonight's draw in Johannesburg, despite being banned by FIFA over government interference. And as you can see on your screen, these are the pots and the countries or teams in them. Let's look at the Ghana Premier League. Now, head coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Dr. Prosper Ogum, has taken a swipe at defender Patrick Asma and goalkeeper Ibrahim Danlad for giving out two crucial goals in their Week 25 game against relegation-threatened Rail Tamale United. Asma fouled Ronald Frimpong in the box to give the host a penalty that was expertly converted before goalkeeper conceded another in the 76th minute of the game.
Most of the things that they were doing, especially with the ball, were not the things that they were supposed to do. They were too individualistic on the field. Most of the players didn't play as a unit, as a team, and I think that actually affected us.
Coach, it's your third defeat of the season, and reports coming through is that Bechem United have won their game. That means that they are within 5 points of the top. Is it now pressure time for the last 9 games?
No, it's not pressure time. We've lost. We have to accept the defeat, make sure that we stay focused, we stay confident. We don't have to lose our composure. We don't have to lose our self-belief. We have to go back and make sure that we get things done right. That is it.
It's one of the disappointments, the fact that the 2 goals were down to, if you like, some mistakes.
Now, Shaibu Ibrahim Tanko is the head coach of Real Tamale United, and he says he's confident of escaping relegation with 9 more games to go.
Yeah, Kodogo are a good side by all standards, and we are a better side. We clipped their wings. Where they are supposed to operate, we clipped it. They couldn't get any way to play there. That is the secret.
And we saw that in the game when Abagna came on, even though he's not as sharp as we've seen the quality that he brings. Coach, for you, how important would he be to keep him fit for the last 9 games?
Yeah, in fact, he has come back, and the coming back, I should think, is something that is going to be sustained. And I believe his sustenance will really push the team to wherever we want to get to.
Yeah, you've beaten Kotoko, but there are still some more games to be played, and you need to get good results, especially at home, to stay in the league. How do you achieve that?
Kotoko is not my target. My target is to remain in the league. So forward match, as I earlier on mentioned in the beginning, our forward match will begin from.
I am just enjoying his view. He says forward match, forward ever, backward never for RTU. To some unfortunate news, however, goalkeeper for Volta Regional League side Mepe Peace Ladies Mabel Mausi Doga has tragically died after drowning in a river while traveling from the Volta region to the Afram Plains. Mausi, together with her mom and 2 siblings, got drowned last Thursday, 14th April 2022, when their boats capsized on their way to Germany for a short holiday. Her almost decomposed remains were found at the riverbank in Germany yesterday and has since been buried. Let's look at the games that were played in the Women's FA Cup, as you can see on your screen. And Kumasi Sports Academy and Hasaka's ladies, when they locked horns, it was 1-1 and 3-2 on penalties. On Sunday, the Police Ladies and Ampemdakwa ladies beat the Police Ladies by 2-0. Yesterday, when the Anlo ladies and the Army ladies met, Anlo ladies were beaten by the Army ladies by 7-0. Ashtown ladies also beat Fosu Royal ladies 4-1 when they locked horns yesterday in that game. To some more sad news as well for the Man U fans, Manchester United's forward Cristiano Ronaldo has announced that one of his newborn twins has passed away. Ronaldo and his partner Georgina Rodriguez said they were expecting twins at the end of October 2021. The 7-year-old took to Twitter on Easter Monday to announce the death of his new boy while confirming the birth of his baby girl. Condolences have since been pouring in from various places, including Manchester United, to Ronaldo. To some bizarre happenings again, an American has reported he was robbed of his watch at gunpoint by 2 men while out with his wife, Fael, in Leighton, East London on Monday night. The former boxing world champion also took to Twitter to share details of the incident, noting that he and his wife were both unharmed. Khan was beaten by longtime rival Kell Brook via 6th round stoppage in Manchester back in February, after which he strongly hinted at retirement. gloomy day for Barca as well. Barcelona suffered a shock home La Liga defeat by relegation.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, gonna my pamper, so we try was suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do, we go straight to start. I'm gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Energy next level. Back baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't go next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria? Lufat.
Indeed, I will malaria and want to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a
Hope is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Hey, tell me what? Tell me what? Hey, tell me what? Tell me, beer.
Then ma will worry me. Watch me, you come 1 week, Mr. Oh, now who can
yes. Buga, now then. Senior, name me and you ma cut down my business is a collapse. I'm a bank. So who take quick credit in Ghana? Quick credit? Yes, quick credit. Who pesika? We are government and a private worker. Who pesika they are till hot so. We are busumi ejuma. Who yes sikadi bibin tempai so. Quick credit be ma loan. Am what you kakra. Na elije sem kese ne say. A collateral free loaner, susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit as MBL. The here say, Ghana card. 2022 year, 1 year Juma, now one hour young. Who need excuse here? Quick credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 20833. Besina quick credit.
Hello.
Yes, Daddy.
Oh, Sidi. With your voice, no teaching my okay. I can't live without you. Talk to me.
Daddy, the money.
Oh, yeah. I'm a. Thank you too. Oba money for you now that you'll be able to me. Have you been for? Yeah, me and my wife. Where is it?
In your Beneto. You think slave queens are cheap?
Oh,
Just use ZPay to send me 1,000 Ghana cedis. After all, the charge is only 5 cedis.
No problem. Come inside. Surprise visit.
The money.
Oh, okay. ZPay mobile money.
Oh, thank you so much. I can even use the same ZPay mobile money to pay my bills. Now let's
Dial *270# to pay all your bills with ZPay mobile money. ZPay Chatumu Direct.
Ago! Listen, I have good news for you. This is guaranteed to make you rich forever and ever.
I know what you're searching for. I'm alerting you.
Ajay, madam, please.
QNet does not make false promises.
What did Mama tell you?
Report suspicious activities at 0256 630.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show? Can I show what is written on the box?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Stand and turn. So what's your pleasure? Dan Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling healthy. And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast. So what's your pleasure? Dan Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service.
We've got you covered.
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show.
(7:22), you are watching hashtag GTV Breakfast for the 19th of April 2022. I was just going through some interesting stuff on social media and I was thinking, let me ask you, what song really captures how you are feeling about life in Ghana today? Think about the song that captures your mood. And give me the title, okay? We may find the video and play it. Who knows? 055-556-1034. Which song captures the mood of life in Ghana today, right? From here or all around the world. I just want you to think about that for me and send me a WhatsApp on 055-556-1034. People are thinking, which song? Is it, I won't even give you any possible answers. But you send me your song titles, the songs that are capturing your mood right now about how life is going for you in this beautiful country called GHANA. Still to come on this show, we have conversations on financial literacy, how to save, how to invest, how to put your money to work for you. It's a big conversation that you really want to be part of. As for money matters, nobody jokes with it. And then we'll wind things down nicely. There's a chit chat that Valerie will be having with urban music on today's show. So it's a blend of information that you need to know and stuff to just keep you winding down on the show. WhatsApp number 055-556-1034. Which song is capturing your mood right now about how life is going for you in this country? My guests are seated, football lovers and consumers of the news. Dr. Eric Odro-Osai is a governance expert. He's also the Director General of the Internal Audit Agency. To his left is Professor John Koku Mauto, who is the Dean of the School of Graduate Studies at UPSA and a diehard phobia man. Gentlemen, you're welcome. Which team do you support, of course? I mean, I'm not.
Accra House of.
Oh, you're both Phobia people, both UPSA people. I like it.
In fact, both accountants.
Both accountants too. Nice one. Good to have you all here.
Thank you.
Maybe you can answer me that question later on about the song that captures the mood for you. But for now, we want to look at the headlines. And I'll start with a story which has audit in it. I know it's not directly related to you, but we'll talk about the whole principles of auditing and how its effective use will help us. Today's daily graphic leads with towards effective strategy implementation since 1960s. This is a prescription or a recommendation from the government statistician. What's he talking about? So Professor Enim has proposed a comprehensive stock-taking and audit of all socio-economic policies implemented since the country gained Republican status in 1960, so as to help guide the effective formulation of new policies and outcomes. He's talking about stock-taking and cost-benefit analysis to determine how relevant the policies have been and how they have served their purposes. So he was delivering a public lecture on conceptualization of national policies, capacity and practice at the Central University in Accra last Wednesday. Okay. First of all, let me speak with the audit professional. What exactly is an audit? Break it down for us the way you normally break it down. And why is this call happening now?
Thank you very much, and let me say good morning to our viewers and listeners. Audit is just a comprehensive review of things that may have happened. If you are reviewing financial report, it's financial audit. If you are reviewing policies, it's policy audit. So basically, when we say an audit, it is a review of what may have happened. And for you, those of you in journalism, you do editing. You edit, it's not words, but then you edit document. But we do auditing by looking back and look at what has happened. It's a process review, activity review, look at challenges, make recommendations for systemic improvement. So any policy, any activity that is not the subject of an audit may not improve, because then you may not identify the weaknesses along the line. It is different between monitoring and evaluation. For auditing, you try to do a quick review. What Professor Enim is recommending is basically a review of all the policy interventions we've had since independence, the development plans, a status of the development plans, those that have worked, those that have not worked, and where we go from here. So basically that is what he's calling for. And I'm surprised the call is coming now. The reason is that every year or every government, before a medium-term development plan is developed, they do a comprehensive review. They look back and look at what has happened in the past, what has been successful, what were the challenges, what are the practicable measures that can be implemented. The challenge of our country is the political manifestos, the party manifestos. Most of the party manifestos do not align themselves with the development plans of the country. So a party develops its political manifesto before winning elections. So when they come, they develop a national medium-term plan or a national development plan. Ordinarily, this national development medium plan should align itself with the historical antecedents of the nation's development. Should align itself with development plans that have not been successful, and the area that have been successful, the development gap, so we can move forward. But what do we see? We see that the development plans that political parties develop aligns itself rather with the political parties' manifesto, because that is what they have promised Ghanaians. So going forward, what I think we can do is to have a comprehensive national development plan, maybe a 100-year development plan, a 50-year development plan, a 40-year development plan, break it down into maybe 4 years. You come into power this year, you implement the first 4 years plan, you leave office or you continue. If you are continuing, there is a plan that is cast to stone. This can be successful only when we pass our development plan into law. If we legislate, then that is it. Else, the way we are going and the way we are proceeding, a government or a party in power would implement its political party manifesto. After the party leaves office, that thing becomes a thing of the past. A new political party comes to power and they'll come up with new prescriptions. They may not even continue from where the previous government left off.
We will start from zero.
Meanwhile, it is against our constitution. The constitution says, as far as practicable, successive governments should be able to continue from where others have left off. But in most cases, that is not what we do. So I think it is a good call, but that call resonates itself with the development plans of the country. The call we should be making now is that no political party must develop a political party manifesto without recourse to the national development agenda or development plan. And by design, our development plans are always 1 year ahead of the tenure of a government. So the NPP political party in power now, NPP government is facing election in 2024. We have a development plan that expires in 2025. So what we should be saying is that political party manifestos must link itself with the national development aspiration of the people, especially within the meaning of the constitution. And then 2, we should all work towards legislating on our development plan. Make the development plan a law, pass it into a law, so that it becomes difficult for successive government to change the development agenda of this country. The call is good, but it is good for only development plan, not for political party manifesto.
Thank you. I'll take you up on the last thing you said and then present that to Professor Moto. So Dr. Sai is saying that the development plan has to be passed into law so that people follow it. Who has to make that step? Who has to start the process of making sure that the development plan becomes a law that you cannot deviate from?
All right, thank you, Kafi. Talking about, indeed, if I'm to answer this question directly, then we are talking about the major stakeholders, especially the mainstream political parties, as well as each and everyone. We are talking about here. We are talking about the media. We have a role to play here. Chiefs, NDC, NPP. You see, if you don't,
and the other parties.
Yeah, and the other parties as well. Thank you.
All those guys
and the other parties. They all play, major roles. If we don't do this, if we don't build consensus, okay, these parties will come and change it. Okay, so that is why dialoguing and consensus is always the way to go. This is not the first time we are talking about parties aligning their manifestos to our development plan. And indeed, given what Dr. Sai mentioned, you see, look, why do you always discontinue what your predecessor did using the taxpayers' money? Not even their money, taxpayers' money. What has happened to Segleme? Kafi? Taxpayers' money.
The housing project. The housing project on the road to.
Yes. And we are still talking about some gap in the housing industry in this country when the taxpayers' money has been used to develop a work in progress. And we are still talking about the peripherals. So, Kafi, it has always been my wish that, you see, if we are interrogating politicians, if we're interrogating their manifestos, then we should be looking at whether it sits and fits with our development plan and whether they are working towards it. And we should have a society which will hold them accountable whenever they do what our plan says. Indeed, they all have good plans. In fact, none of the political parties have any bad plan. They all have good plans. But the problem is how to align them with the expectation of Ghanaians. Look, Kafi, over the weekend, I've monitored the series of news going around. When I heard that Agenda 111 has been, some have taken off, whilst others have been, inaugurated. And it's good news to hear. And we all know, given the financial status of this country, that the estimated number of, completion to this particular agenda, doesn't really sit well with our current economic crisis, the liquidity problems we are having. So if it's a national agenda, then we are seeing to it that whoever is in charge will continue this agenda, because Agenda 111 providing health, services to everyone, irrespective of where you find yourself. You need to have access to health facilities.
But does it even fit into the National Development Plan?
That is what we are talking about. So you see, if this fits into our development plan, then no No one. And sometimes the way we label it, okay, it becomes a partisan project. So it was begun by this particular party. So when it comes, okay, because they started, it's a national project. Therefore, it should be devoid of any partisan affiliation. And they come and speak well through it, that I came and met this maybe NDC or MPP project and I continue. It is your obligation to continue because you are using the taxpayers' money. It is not an MPP, NDC money. Those are the things you have to tell them.
Maybe we need a better quality of leaders who can acknowledge what was good in the past and then build come and think about just themselves and try to personalize issues.
It's systemic. It's a system. See, once the system is robust,
yes,
no one. That is why sometimes I resonate with the former president that, look, he wants to build a system that even the devil cannot change the system. If the system is robust, no one can influence it. The people know, the people are educated, the people are informed as to what we should expect from our leaders.
But you need the right kind of people to police the system.
Oh, yes.
People who will report wrongdoing, people who will not be swayed and made to act contrary to what should be done.
That's why we should all be involved. The media, number one. The media should report accuracy. The media should not be biased towards development. The media should not be biased towards any other, individual in society. Now, just to comment on the audit, I think that's once again submission given by the professional intact, but there's this issue of appointment of auditors, often done. Doc knows about it, but there's this behavioral.
What's the issue?
There's this behavioral question. Okay, when it comes to appointment of auditors, that if you are supposed to be, your work is supposed to be reviewed, you're the same person who appoints me to come and review you.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
So
you need an external source to come in.
Even external. You know, by law, you are supposed to appoint an external auditor to review your books and express its independent opinion on your activities. Are you okay? But the conflict here is that you are the person appointing the person to come and audit you, like the government appointed the Auditor General to audit him. Even though there are findings, which I don't think anyone will take it away from the auditor to bring it out. Okay, but there's this conversation going on as to whether there's another way out to appoint auditors, not only by the government, but even corporate institutions. That indeed, we should be thinking about an option, are you okay, where we can have an agency giving out auditors to audit and then express very, very independent opinion, devoid of any intervention by the party who is being audited. This conversation will probably crop up one day, and I know Doc it's a major behavioral question we are always asked, that what is that when you are paid to do or perform a particular task for a company that does hide you and pay you.
Your comments on that before we go to the next story?
Yes, I think it's right. But for the purpose of corporate governance, the external auditors are appointed by the companies and then approved by the board of directors. Okay. When you come to the public sector, it is mandatory under the Constitution for the Auditor General to audit all public institutions, including SOEs. However, the Auditor General itself do not appoint their external auditors. It's Parliament that appoints external auditors for the Auditor General. Okay. But the risk, here is the risk.
And the Auditor General audits Parliament?
Auditor General audits Parliament. Okay. That is one risk. The
other risk, audits the President?
The President is part of the executive. Okay. So the Auditor General audits the President as well. Right. So that's internal audit agency, provides internal audit.
But the Auditor General, who appoints the Auditor General?
The Auditor General is appointed by the President. Okay. And the President appoints all public officers, including the Auditor General. Okay.
Yeah, so I appoint you and then you come and audit me later on.
That is the arrangement.
Is it effective?
It is very effective because all auditors are expected to live up to professional standards. And I must say that if you are an auditor, no matter how much they are paying you and whoever employs you, your professional ethics requires that you live up to the professional standards. So if you are applying international auditing standard, it is not local standards, international auditing standards, you are expected to comply with those standards as far as the auditing is concerned. If you violate those standards, it even affects your professional calling. There have been instances where Institute of Chartered Accountants and other international organizations have sanctioned auditors, individual auditors and then corporate auditors or partnerships for failing to comply with international standards and then even comply with law. So yes, that conflict is there, but I can tell you auditors try to live up to the professional standards.
Awesome. You just joined us. You are watching the headlines on GTV, #GTV Breakfast. Our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. The first story we looked at concerned the auditing of policies from the 60s, from the time we were a republic 62 years ago to until now. And this is a recommendation from the government statistician. What are your views on this? Would love to hear from you. The messages will be coming up pretty soon. We touched a bit on stakeholders, and parliamentarians are key stakeholders in making sure that certain laws are passed to the betterment of our country. Looking into today's graphic, page 17, there's a story on 3 members of parliament who have been referred to a committee to address issues of absenteeism, not failing to turn up for a particular period of time and the consequences that flow out of it. So a governance expert, not our own here, but Professor Ajimandia, has urged Parliament to address the issue of absenteeism in the House. And he's talking about the referral of the 3 members of Parliament to the Privileges Committee. They are the MP for Dom Kwabenya, Sarah Adwa Safo, the MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Ohini Ajipong, and the MP for Ayawaso Central, who's also the Regional Minister for the Greater Accra Region, Mr. Henry Quarte. So the absenteeism has gone on for a long time, and Professor Ajimandia is absolutely delighted that the Speaker has taken the initiative to nip this problem in the bud, and these are governance issues that must have been dealt with. They shouldn't have gone to this point, should they?
Well, they shouldn't.
I mean, if you don't, how many days can you not turn up for work before for action to be taken?
3 days.
That's it.
That's it.
You don't turn up to work for 3 days.
My office, if you don't. I mean, if you don't turn up for work for 3 days, somebody dismiss straight.
Boom.
Without permission.
And in the case of Parliament, 15 days.
Yes, it's 15 days.
15 working days.
3 days.
15 sittings. But and how can you stay at home in the office, at home with 3 days without coming to work? No, you can't do that. I mean, 3 days. You've left office without permission. So you have to be dismissed because the work must be done. You see, what is happening here, we've shot ourselves in the foot. Because under our constitution, majority of cabinet ministers or ministers of state are supposed to come from parliament. These are the people who are leading policies in ministries and regional ministers, some of them. And you expect the same people to be in parliament. How can they do that? Suffice to say that the 3 that have been referred to the Privileges Committee, one of them is a minister of state, but the rest, and then the other is a regional minister. So how do you expect this regional minister to administer his region and be in parliament at the same time? I think we have to look at our constitution.
What was the thinking? I really would love to be in the minds of the people in the Constituent Assembly who are writing this, our 1992 Constitution, which is now 30 years old this year. What were they think? What do you think they were thinking about when they made it that you have to have 50% of your ministers coming from parliament? What was going through their minds?
You see, if we give ourselves the historical antecedent, I mean, this is a British parliamentary model we inherited.
Are we British?
And then I also think that they want to have people in government always in parliament to support the majority leader in doing government business. But that is not helping us, I must say, because if you are not very careful, if you have all the ministers and deputy ministers as MPs, and with the current figures in parliament, you can be sure that they will go to parliament first before coming to the office.
And this is what is actually happening now, because those who were deputy ministers or ministers who lost the election in 2020 automatically lost their ministerial position.
That's right.
And so the rule probably is that both minister and deputy minister, or at least the minister, must be an MP.
That's so. And so I think we'll have to look at that bit of our constitution. Aside from that, we should also look at the select committees meetings, the committee meetings of Parliament. They should be able to plan it well. At times, some of the committee meetings coincides with the main parliamentary sitting. So when it coincides like that and they have something doing at the committee level and they've not finished and the person is in the chair, it will be extremely difficult for the person to come in and then take part in the meeting. So I think these are matters that we need to consider. But the difficult one is you being a minister and also an MP. And they expect you to be in parliament. You have to represent your constituency. In fact, when you look at parliamentary practice, if you don't go to parliament for even 1 hour, the harm you are causing to your constituency is no joke, let alone a whole day. And most of them get to the office after 4 p.m. They go to parliament before coming. And it is not their making. You can't blame them. They expect to be in parliament and also manage a ministry. So in that case, you get chief directors managing the ministry. A lot of things will happen before the ministers themselves get there. So I think this constitutional review must be done. We should make sure that this business of having a majority of the ministers coming from parliament is not helping us.
What are they afraid of to make a change? Why don't they have the testicular fortitude to just change this thing? It must be hurting them.
No, it must be hurting them. But you know, we had the Constitution Review Commission, we set up Constitution Review Implementation Commission, they made a number of recommendations. But Kafui, the truth is that a number of entrenched provisions have been recommended for amendment. And if you want to amend a constitution, in fact, an entrenched provision, you need a referendum. And a referendum must come with only one question. So if you have recommended that I should amend 20 entrenched provisions, what it means is that we need 20 referenda. The 20 referenda, you see how much it will cost Ghana. And when you look at the recommendation from the Constitution Review Commission, they are recommending for a review of over 50% of the current constitution. Then we better rewrite it. So that we can save everybody that money. That is where we've gotten to.
Will the rewriting be more expensive than the referenda?
It will be cheaper than the referenda because each referenda can cost us not less than 40 million Ghana cedis. One question, the ballot papers, and then the campaigns, yes or no, declaration of results, the EC, the money they need. Look at when we are going to do the election of MMDCs. How much we even spent up to the point we abrogated that particular process. So I think that it is about time we have a national conversation on whether to rewrite a new constitution for the Republic, which will be a development constitution. This first one is a political transitional constitution. It moves us from the military era to a stabilized democracy. We've had it. Now we have to develop. So we need a development constitution. And this development constitution would require that we rewrite the current constitution. Because the current constitution, when you look at even the transitional provisions and all of that, I mean, it doesn't help us. It really doesn't help. Where it is only the executive. All the executive provisions in the executive are entrenched. So for you to touch a provision in the executive, you have to go for a referendum, which is not the best. So I think that, look, we need a new constitution, which is a development constitution, which have to be rewritten with the current one, with the number of proposals for amendment which are entrenched. Every single amendment provision will require one referendum, and the cost of referendum we cannot bear. That's why the thing is stalled.
I'm going to look for some of the original framers of this 1992 constitution, and I'll sit down with them and ask them some very hard questions. You guys, what were you thinking when you were writing all these things down? We'll see what they will tell us. Thank you for your submissions, Dr. Osai. Professor Malto, so Professor Ajimandua is quite confident that referring these 3 MPs to the committee will address absenteeism, but as Dr. Osai says, it goes beyond the committee. There's something structurally deficient in the constitution. And it looks like our hands are tied. If it's going to be a referendum, one issue, you spend a lot of money, there are multiple issues. But the bottom line is that, listen, if you're not coming to work, you should suffer the consequences. In some institutions, it's 3 days and they sack you, boom, no questions asked. Some of these people have been absent for months.
That's the reality. What Dr. Simon mentioned is a reality that indeed, if you want to check this, then we need to cure it from the scratch, the fundamental reasons for which, and this is not the first time. it's because of the number of MPs we have in Parliament in recent times. But it has cropped up. I mean, you only need to get the parliamentary Hansard to know the number of absenteeism.
I hear some of them even put their name down and then they disappear.
And they disappear.
Oh.
And the reality is
whole
that
MPs.
These are the reality checks that indeed.
Like schoolboys. you put your name there, then you disappear.
And that's the highest level of indiscipline. Highest level of indiscipline. And you see, this time, I don't get it that even the minority is even chastising the speaker for such an initiative. Look, if the speaker sees members on the floor on any day, and the numbers are changing, how do you expect? And we should have gotten this. We all know that, you see, indeed, given the provisions of the Constitution that a certain number of MPs must come from ministers must come from Parliament. Mm-hmm. And we all know that it's a cure. What happened, during Liman's government? That yes, that's the main reason to cure it.
So refresh our minds. What happened in Liman's government?
When his budget was rejected. Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. So to avoid that happening again, now let's look at getting a number of MPs. Okay, who will also serve as part of the executives, so that they can court some sympathy for the executives, and that it breaches checks and balances. We know the primary role of a lawmaker, a parliamentarian: go and make laws. Don't get yourself involved in the work of the executives, because you are there to check them.
Why don't these people who are absent just ask for permission, and then if you can't do the work, just leave?
No, it's not as easy.
Why is it not as easy as you can't do the work? You're not around. You're not working. Leave. No, somebody to do the work.
That should be the best. So you see, imagine the situation.
Is that a ridiculous suggestion?
That your colleagues
that you
in
can't
Parliament
do the work, but you are still there.
You see, it should be easy.
Leave.
It should be easy. But you see, it's not easier said. Are you okay?
Oh, it's easy. It's easy, but my brother.
But you see, the Constitution. It's a Constitution.
How hard is it?
But Cap,
I can't.
We have people who are on retirement. They can't even walk to work, but they want post-retirement contract. They come to office and they virtually sleep, and these people are still working, and we pay them. It's easy to do that.
Dishonesty and cheating.
You see,
in the system.
Our problem is attitude.
Yeah.
Our problem is our work ethics.
Yeah.
We can have all the strategies, we can have all the laws. Yeah. If you have a bad work attitude, if you have a bad work ethic, it will be extremely difficult for you to achieve anything. And that's the problem.
But the leadership must be able to make things happen. I mean, in your organization, 3 days you are gone.
Oh, no, you are gone.
So leadership is working.
Yeah,
that's right.
Parliament's leadership has not been working.
Yeah.
Well, you see,
to tolerate all these things till now.
Fine, they may have a reason for tolerating it, but I will not tolerate, because I get to the office at 6:30. So I don't understand why my officer cannot get to the office at 8. But Parliament is a different institution. It is a different institution. So I don't understand why they have even tolerated it up to this point. But my point is attitudinal and work ethic. If it is 8, it must be 8.
Yep.
If you can't come to work, resign. If they had insisted on this, I'm sure most of them would have resigned long ago.
These 3 MPs should
no, but the 3 MPs may also have genuine reasons. Some of them it may be held on health grounds. Some of them may have written to the speaker and all of that.
But if they had written to the speaker, why is the speaker referring them to the committee?
Yes, for them to go and defend themselves. I mean, maybe they have a defense.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I'm just curious. You are being represented by these MPs. If they are your MPs, how do you feel about this whole situation? And if they are not your MPs, how do you feel about the situation where the House of Parliament can tolerate this kind of behavior to go on? And people, and they have their own rules. 15, and they always tell you, we are master of our rules. The MPs always say it. Parliament is a master of their rules. Well, your rule says
what I even think
15 days.
What I think we should be doing is that we should be accounting. MPs should be accounting for the days they sit in Parliament to their constituents.
Thank you. Like an audit, right?
Yeah, like an audit.
Yeah. Yes.
They have MP's office, so you should put a register there. The MP must put it there that I was in Parliament today. I did ABCD and I represented you. Whether at the committee level or on the floor of Parliament, that would be a very good social accountability or representative accountability to the people.
I love this. And please, no analog reporting where you go and put any time. Because confess, some of you come to work at 10:06, but you put down there 6:10. You see, you do it. We don't want our MPs to do that as well. Electronic, you come, you punch in, the time is there. It shows leadership from the top. That's all we want. And now we go for messages from the lady. I think, is it peach or pink or I don't know, but it's nice.
You have the same.
Yeah, so we got a memo. Got a memo. Even those who are not on air are dressed in the same colors. Yes.
Hi. Good morning, Prof. and Doc.
This is somebody who doesn't want you.
This is a long one, so this is how to ensure that we don't. It's really long and it's forwarded, so try something original like good morning.
Read the beginning and the end.
Life is short, and the end is good morning. Thank you. Summary. that would be a really good summary. Kafui, the MPs we are talking about is not the are they not away doing ministry work? Okay. Perhaps that's the question our viewer wants an answer to. Good morning, honorable members.
That's why we need a
It
separation.
is good for MPs to be in Parliament all the time, right? But majority ministers coming from Parliament is a good decision, because let's assume that they've given the Minister of Finance to someone who is not the MP. How can it be possible, please, honorable? Some ministerial positions are not supposed to be given to someone who is not a member of Parliament. Father Ima is saying that. Leviticus. Good morning, please. Doc, what is accounting for the impracticability of political parties to continue with the project of their predecessors? Is what Sami Leviticus Powers is asking. Mina Hunter Frankobab, we really need individual transformation in our attitudes from the authority revered level to the lowly regarded persons. It's a must for Ghana to rise again. Hashtag GTVBFS in my bloodstream. Mina Hunter. So you asked a question about songs, and he's saying the song by Adangba Animal Farm, Who Go Tell the Truth, which really suits us here in Ghana. It's my popular request today. Please play this song for me. Why? Mina Hunter Frankobab. Thank you. F1 joins. A pleasant morning to the crew and panel. The song that works for me in these times we find ourselves is Emrys is sung by Reverend Josh Lai. I second with Dr. Odro's science submission that Ghana at this crucial point needs a new developmental constitution. Thank you, F1, for sending that message across. The salary of MPs of Parliament should be suspended because some of them run companies to hold the salary of their workers if they do not come to work. It's a bad habit and they have to stop. Silas Odum says so. From Mankesim.
Thank you.
There's one on top. He said, this is an act of wickedness. The security forces must do the proper investigation to get those wicked people who poison the river for their selfish gain without considering the health of the public. So this is in relation to the keep an eye we had today on a poisoned water body. All the fish just looked, so it was quite sad. Yes, we need development constitution and chiefs. This is Ghana problem. Adanso watching us from Leeds in the UK. Okay, I'm going to try and scroll through these as much as I can. Good morning, Doc. There are some people that have never brushed their teeth. And so this was in relation to the teeth conversation that we had earlier. Yes. But his latest comment is on, if we want Ghana to move without corruption, we must amend our constitution to give power to the third runner-up party in the general election to always the Auditor General by Baladong from Upper West Region.
Nice one.
Alhaji Dauda, Dr. Oderick, what do you say to administrative bottlenecks that jeopardize government programs and policies, which auditing becomes difficult? Alhaji is asking from Medina Estate. On e-levy above, what about on e-levy? Harrison did not elaborate. Good morning to you as well. Good morning, Cap. The song trending very fast on the globe is the current Shatawale album, On God. Many have reacted, including dancehall legend Shaggy, Luciano, and many, many more people. Even Nigeria presenters are talking about it and promoting it, and they have accepted that Shatawale is the dancehall king of Africa.
Shatta's PR man has just invaded our messages. I said the song.
We are sending him.
The song that reflects how you feel. And you're telling me that Shatta is the dancehall king.
We are going to send him the bill very. King Calf, Henry from Agonas Radio said, the song that captures my current mood in Ghana today is On God by Shatawale. So 2 votes for Shatawale there.
Right, yes.
Ike from Sefria Moya. The song that fit the mood in Ghana right now is Heat by Wendy Shea. Okay, so 1 vote for Wendy Shea. Wendy Shea, Heat, 2 votes. And here's another reaction from the Poisoned River, which is quite worrying as well. Let me scroll up and see if there's a couple of new ones that we could read. A lot of new ones, actually. Kaf, kudos to your panelists. I nominate them to be members of the Constitution Review Committee. Kudos again. So, jobs coming your way, Doc and Prof. Are you ready to accept them? Well noted is what is saying. Eric, listen, Ghana has a serious issue to handle. First African country to gain independence. I'm shocked, nothing to boast seriously. Democracy without policy equals corruption. As for this mathematics formula, it's according to Prophet. And those are views, not the views of GBC or any of its presenters. Good morning to you all. My question is, when an employee is absent from work for only 2 days, he or she has no mercy, but lawmakers can absent themselves for months and nothing happens. Meanwhile, it's our taxpayer money we used to pay them. It's a threat to national security. Monica says, yesterday's VFF was awesome. Kudos, we thank God for the hang parliament. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known MPs absent themselves from parliament for that long.
That. Benefits of hang parliament. We start to know what is happening.
It's not all doom.
No. I like this.
There's benefits to this. All MPs who do not go to parliament must be sent out, and goes on to list some names there.
Oh, he was shouting at his wife and his family, his daughters.
We are sending him the bill. Greetings to my wife, Mrs. Sabina Mensa, and to my daughters, Monica, Lodina, and Janelle. Okay, Mensa. So to the Mensa family, good morning to all of you. Nana Kwame Opasco in Sawam. In fact, under the leadership of President Nana, we are focused on pursuing digitalization as part of our economic strategy because the 4th industrial revolution is upon us. We must be part of the modern world. God bless Ghana. God bless NPP. That's according to Nana Kwame. Who's saying I should read the message? Lawrence. Okay, let's see what you're telling us. Good morning, but I've read this. Do you tell, for a successive government not aligning the agenda to that of the nation, what is the punishment and which agency is responsible to put them right? Lawrence is asking from Taifa and goes on to ask, do politicians and the government consider the suggestions and impact of GTV Breakfast Show?
Well, we know they are listening. We know. We get feedback. So, hey, as to whether they are doing, at least you have to listen first. And then if you decide to do, you do. But hey, listening is important. So they are listening.
Hi, crew. I think the MPs must be paid on daily basis. Now, Kwatekai from Odoko. Choosing violence.
No, it's not a bad idea.
Antikai has chosen violence.
No, it's not a bad idea. By day.
What's the daily rate?
It's not bad.
No, maybe Dr. Prof can suggest a daily rate.
No, but by national policy, we don't pay wage, we pay salaries.
No, we can amend.
Then it should cut across the entire public sector.
Let's pay everybody by day.
That's right.
Yeah, I like it. Look, in the countries where they have money, they pay people on weekly basis.
But it has its own limitations.
My brother, let's
its own limitations.
Let's try it.
Okay, so
Prof, let's try it. Let's try it.
Once I'm satisfied, I know that within 4 days, I'm able to earn a certain amount of money.
And you don't need to show up on the 5th day.
It ends there, you know.
So they pay them by day. You know, bad.
The more you work, the more
wage you earn.
Which would work out better for some people.
Monthly thing, you work for 10 days, but you pay for the month.
But you see, your constituents needs you there anytime, not when you want. Okay, so in their case, it's not as easy as probably we are proposing.
Let's not give them excuses.
No. You see, they ask their constituents the mandate was given. Just go out there and do the work. That's all. That's all.
I feel you.
Mr. Speaker, I wish your committee on some members should rather be renamed a fact-finding mission committee on reasons why members do not come to Parliament. Al-Haji is still making suggestions.
Maybe they work over there.
On the board.
I think maybe they work over there. You know, when you're outside becoming a you think the HL is all glory and roses, then you enter and realize that,
But even the rules cripples them, because when you go to Parliament and you are a first-timer, you are a backbencher.
You just observe.
You not observe, but before you can ask questions, your leader must clear the questions. It will have to go through processes. So we shouldn't blame first-time MPs who are not seen speaking on the floor of Parliament. Yeah. And if you are in their constituents and you want to judge the participation of your MP by talking, you are getting it wrong.
Yes.
Because first-timer, before you get the opportunity to make a statement, it will go through processes. So that's how come some of them we haven't heard. But they are working at the background.
They
are not mute.
They are not mute, but first timer. What can you do? Your seniors are there.
Yeah, you don't even know the work, so why are you going to talk?
You have to learn.
Chill and learn.
But they work in the committee level. I mean,
they do.
Level,
but when you're on the floor, keep quiet and listen to your seniors.
The leaders are there.
The levels must show.
They have to clear before. That's the more reason why you even sit at the back.
Yeah.
The cameras may never capture you.
No, my friend, who had that when you come here.
No, same apply to the legal profession anyway.
You keep quiet when you are young, eh?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you have to. What are you going to talk about?
It reminds me of secondary school. If you're an SS1, you have no rights. Basically. So more messages coming in. Our WhatsApp number 05555-61034, and these are the opinions of those who are sending them, not those of GBC. Good morning, guys. The two political parties are two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
That's what Amandie thinks. He's by when they vote on the screen. Master Planner, good morning, GTV. Our parliamentarians should take advantage of this hung parliament and make some amendments in our constitution. Absenteeism should not be entertained. That's according to Master Planner. Ahmed is with Dr. Hossain. The constitution must be written all over again. Prophet Prince says money squandering everywhere. In fact, if I have to be the president, I tell you, I will audit the salaries of our ministers, take and crystal clear all the cash inflow we need. We need a chance of a change of mind, I think he wants to say. Yes. In fact, a nation without heart of a patriot is a dead one. And aka E-Levy is good. You are greeting Vice President and everybody. You are bringing Easter gifts. Okay.
Hey, if you hear you declare your Easter gift from the Vice President,
guys, go and pay gift tax.
Go and pay gift tax.
Still asking, what is MP's duty in Ghanaian Parliament at all? I'm seeing the pay they are taking. I need an answer.
The guy actually declared a gift on national television.
It's his opinion, not the opinions for you. So, I was not there when the gift was there. I can't ascertain whether the gift actually went. So, legal implications. Let the doc guide us on this one. Good morning. These MPs are business people, and I wonder if they will allow their employees to absent themselves from work for 15 days. It's just an attitude this thing. God bless Ghana. Akpene from Wager. Public education in Ghana is very bad, and this affects how the citizenry reacts to issues on governance. If I have time,
it's a good point. More and then,
perhaps I'll do a couple more. To review the constitution will only happen if the party in government stands to benefit from the review. If it's not in their interest,
forget.
I think they might not do it. You're still typing, yes, and people are sending us voice notes as well. Okay, we'll try and listen. MP should vacate their seats once they get to positions. And those are your thoughts. Hey, Master Kafa, I like your sense of humor. On a more serious note, these are indicators that the country is ready for change towards development.
Thank you.
And I think I'll end it all with this one. Mr. Speaker must reduce the 5-day filing of a question by a member of parliament to just a day before he or she can ask a question.
Okay.
And more thoughts coming in there. I'll hand it over back to you, Kaf.
Thank you so much, Thelma, for those messages. And we're going to just flip over to keep an eye, check out what's happening with Valerie, and then we'll come back to the House. My guests are Dr. Eric Odro-Osai. He's the Director General of the Internal Audit Agency, and Professor John Kokumalto, Dean, School of Graduate Studies, UPSA. And the lady in black with a touch of African print and a dazzling smile has got Keep an Eye ready for us. Take it away, V.
You have a way with words.
Thank you.
What's that? The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. So keep an eye with Alan today is around Malam Junction. We hear there's a faulty traffic light that's causing a lot of discomfort to users of that stretch. And so Alan will be on screen shortly, and then he can give us the 411 as to what's happening around that stretch. Remember, we are live on YouTube as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, on Facebook as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and if you use the hashtag GTV Breakfast, we are everywhere on social media. So Alan is on our screens. Alan, hi, good morning. What can you report? What's happening?
Hi, good morning, Valerie. Good morning, Ghana. Welcome to Malam Junction in the Greater Accra region. Traffic lights found peppers, not only from unsafe crossing by pedestrians who use the road with commuters. This set of traffic lights behind and the amount of traffic that goes through here, as well as the number of pedestrians who cross the road from here, cannot be understated. If a traffic light such as the one at
We sincerely apologize for that feedback. We'll still get back to Alan though, but I'm hand over to Kaf. Okay, so Alan is still on my screens. Alan promises to give us better feedback. So like I said, we'll keep an eye from Malam Junction where Alan came to us earlier. We're going to get the feedback resolved, but there's a faulty traffic light that's causing a lot of discomfort to users of that stretch. While we get the feedback, I'm going to hand over to Kaf, and I'm sure he has a lot to say. He and his gentlemen. Headlines. Kaf, back to you.
All right, so commuters who are traveling from Kaswa towards Malam and perhaps Kaneshi and beyond will have to use this particular junction. It also receives traffic from parts of Malam Bawe, and also those coming off the N1 to make their way down the Kaneshi Kaswa Odoko highway will also have to come through here. What you see currently is traffic coming in from parts of Malam and Bawe as well as Awoshi, and indeed this traffic light is off. They have to be here on duty for such a long time, and so the policeman, as you can see, who's taking charge of the traffic, is only helping to manage it in perhaps whatever way best he can to make traffic flow smoothly. It is sad to think that the street lights being functional, then perhaps somebody will know that it must also assist for night driving, and so if during the day you have the traffic lights off and you need a policeman's presence to take charge of the traffic, what do you think a night driving will look like? Driving here at night is really very dangerous, and nobody knows why the traffic light's been off. The highway authority or the urban roads are saying nothing, and those in charge of these traffic lights, as I speak to you, are getting paid, whether functional or non-functional. But for us commuters and pedestrians who have to use this traffic light, our lives are in our own hands. A little impatience ends the commuter as well as the pedestrian in a certain traffic collision. Indeed, you know our brothers on motorbikes waiting here to come on air, two different sets of near collision between motorbike and a vehicle. But for the policeman's presence and his timely intervention, there would have been two fatal accidents right here. We commend the policeman for being here and taking charge of the traffic. But what is the purpose of a traffic light if it doesn't function? It's like having a rail crossing or a level crossing with a non-functional stop sign. This is unacceptable, and this cannot be put up with. Whoever is in charge of this traffic light is getting paid, and they must be seen to be working or earning their keep. Indeed, Ghana must work, and if we have such people in charge and nothing is working, then it is safe to assume or say that indeed they must step aside for those who are ready to work to work. This traffic light has been off for unduly long, and the people of Malam or the people who work around here deserve better. At least at a minimum, the traffic light must be seen to be working. This policeman could be somewhere else preventing crime. It is not criminal for a traffic light to be dysfunctional, but it is absolutely unacceptable to have a dysfunctional or malfunctioning traffic light. This has been Keep an Eye, coming to you from Malam Junction, where the traffic light has been off for 2 weeks. Thank you very much for joining us. My name, as always, is Darrell Alantego, your chief laborer. Val, take it over.
Yes, thank you, Alan. So the traffic light has been malfunctioning for 2 weeks. Alan has reported, and he's saying that whoever is in charge, if you're not ready to work, leave the post so that somebody who's ready to work works. GTV Breakfast, gentlemen. Kaf.
Thank you. Valerie, if that traffic light were a human being who hadn't come to work for 2 weeks, you know what would have happened? If the traffic light was an MP who hadn't come to work for 2 weeks, you also know what would have happened. Bottom line, how do we solve this issue, Dr. Osai? Traffic lights are supposed to control traffic. 2 weeks off, it's not acceptable. What is the real solution? Why can't this be fixed? Who should be able to fix this?
I think it is unacceptable for us to continue to have traffic lights not working for 2 weeks because of the dangers ahead. But I also think that chief executives would have to be up and doing. They have to set up. You don't need the president to come and fix this light. The whole structure about urban road management is such that in certain cases it has been decentralized. There is some element of decentralization. Means you, the chief executive, who is the district president, must take charge. If these things are not working, work with the appropriate institutions to make sure that things are working. So here, I will charge the minister responsible for local government and the chief executives to make sure that these things happen. If the chief executive of that area, the chief executive of the Adenta Municipal Assembly, the chief executive of AME, all of them sets up and say that, look, urban roads, those responsible for this traffic light, it would have to work. It will work. Because the chief executive chairs the Municipal Security Council, and this is a security issue. So I would say that chief executives must set up. The regional ministers must set up. They will have to coordinate the activities of the chief executive and make sure that this thing happens. That is the essence of bringing governance to the people. You don't need the president to come from the Flagstaff House to come and fix this one. If you think you cannot do the job, resign and allow somebody who would bring governance to the people to come and then occupy. It's acceptable. And I think chief executives must set up. It may not be their direct responsibility, but it is their duty to make sure that it is functioning. So it is up to them to work with appropriate institutions. They would have to set up.
Can this happen in a functioning society where you don't have traffic lights on a major road like this for 2 weeks?
For 2 weeks.
This is just a poor police officer. Somebody can lose control and just wipe him off the road, you know. I saw some of those cars going so dangerously close to him, you know. Prof.
It's unfortunate. And 2 weeks, I mean...
Do you need a constitutional review to fix this?
No.
We need solar panel street lights. That's all.
I mean, this is a low-level problem, man.
I think these are real-time issues we have to solve. We should even take a day to solve, okay? But is it, like Doc mentioned, it's just about responsibility. Ensuring you ensure that it's executed very well. Traffic light
it's so
today,
basic, man. It's so basic.
Should we be discussing traffic light when we have people who are responsible to ensure that it works 24/7? No. And that is Malam Junction. Look,
I'm sure you can cite other hotspots.
I can
cite UPSA Junction.
UPSA
Junction.
Where I'm coming from.
This morning when I was coming, it was not working.
Over the weekend, intermittently. It's you always will encounter a dysfunctioning traffic light, even UPSA Junction, and that is an area you have. It's an educational hub of Accra.
There's a lot of movement there.
A lot of movement there, and every now and then cars are breaking down there. There's collision all over. Kafi, it's just about responsibility, ensuring that whatever has been put under care, you ensure it is done. And today, in view of, the prevalence of media, if you want information as to, they'll tell you, somebody, we have to know. Is it a matter of not knowing that the traffic light has broken down? And what does it take to fix it?
Is it a power issue? Get the power.
Get the power.
If it's a logistics issue, get the logistics.
If it's about solar panel, let's get solar panel to power our traffic light.
So that every time there's
need it. We don't. The police have other. Works to do.
We are exposing them to all kind of dangers. I tell you.
Not to come and regulate traffic.
And you talked about solar power. I was reading about that massive earthquake in Haiti a couple of years back.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that although electricity was cut to Port-au-Prince and some of the places affected, the traffic lights were working
because of solar.
Because the traffic lights were solar lights, and so the lights were working. So traffic was able to be directed, and there wasn't extra confusion on top of the confusion of an earthquake. So I just don't get it.
If a blackout,
a single directive to all chief executives across the country that ensure that your traffic lights, the traffic lights in your area of jurisdiction are working. Failure to do that within 1 week, action will be taken. You need a simple directive.
1 week is too long.
No, but for
we
the
need 24 hours. We need 24 hours.
And within that, after the expiration of that period, heads must roll.
Somebody's head must roll.
I mean, so we should hear people being sacked for not fixing for not doing what they are supposed to do. People will then set up. I think people are too comfortable managing, because I cannot wake up at 5 a.m., get to my office at 6:30, and be working till about 7, and somebody will sleep at home, get to the office at 10 p.m. and leave at 2 p.m. and the person will be paid.
And doesn't even know
I don't
what
understand.
is happening.
I don't understand. So I think people must set up. We need a single directive to all the duty bearers, especially the chief executive, to make sure that these things are working. However they do it, no. The president's business is to be the strategic thinker for the country. You chief executive is to bring good governance to the people. As part of good governance is that traffic light must be working. Chief executives must set up. It is their responsibility to make sure that these things happen. It may not be their direct responsibility to bring the light or ensure that the traffic light is working, but they can work with other institutions to make sure that things happen.
Is this a perfect time to do an audit of all traffic lights in the country?
That is performance audits.
Yes.
We can do that.
Yeah, audit all of them.
We can do that. And we have internal auditors across the country. They can give us a performance audit of all the traffic lights, which ones are working, which ones have not been working for the period, and in which jurisdiction they are. And then we can make the report available. And name and shame.
That's it. That's it. What do you think? 05555561034. Are the lights working in your area? If not, for how long? Look, we encourage you to send us the information. This one will be concerned. You're working for Ghana. Send us the information. Chase these things up, and it doesn't have to be restricted to Accra alone. We have our teams all over the country. We brought you a Keep an Eye from Upper West today, the Bele River, where people were poisoning the river source and killing fish. So we can take your reports from wherever. They don't call us the channel of the nation for nothing. All right, so we can take your concerns from wherever you are in this country. 055-556-1034. That's our WhatsApp number. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube and on Facebook. We have conversations on financial literacy coming up in a short while, and also we're looking at there's a chit chat that Valerie will be having with a musician. It's called Aban Music. And talking about music, what music is speaking to you today about the state of Ghana as it is right now? I'm hearing Heat from Wendy Shea. I'm hearing, is it On God from Shatta? But if there are other tracks that you think reflect the mood, let us know. We may find them and play them for you. Reported to us from Malam Junction. I believe he's headed towards another location in Accra where a similar situation is occurring. And when we get the connection to Alan, we shall bring you the picture so you see for yourself. This is GTV Breakfast. I was looking at another headline that I wanted to share with you, and this has to do with an accident on the Volta Lake. And these stories happen just too often. And 7 people have lost their lives in this capsizing of a boat on the Volta Lake. It's on page 13 of today's Finder. And there were 20 passengers on board a boat traveling over the lake, and they got drowned after a storm that hit them midway through the journey. The boat was traveling from Tongo, Germany, in the South Dai district of the Volta region to Havok Island, the Kuru-Afram Plains North District of the Eastern region. And there's a list of all the people, the 65-year-old, the 39-year-old, 32-year-old, 31-year-old, 31 young people. Their bodies have been retrieved and deposited at a private mortuary on the Havok Island. So these accidents just happen too often on the lake. But you see, this lake, traveling from the areas, they are vast. I haven't been to that part of Ghana before, but I understand you can be on the water for 30 minutes, 1 hour. You know, so we're talking of very vast distances, and so riverine transport is a necessity, but it has to come with safety. I'm sure the investigation will come up and we'll get the details. But my question is: were they wearing life jackets? No. Were they wearing because the life jacket will keep you in the water even if you don't know how to swim. As long as there's air in it, then there are no holes. You know. So these safety issues, like life is almost too cheap, for want of a better word. We don't really regard life in this part of the world. Why?
Because it's unfortunate, and these are perennial issues which always happen, and you ask if indeed we value life, and I mean it's worth asking that indeed if we value each and every Ghanaian in this country, then I think it's a responsibility on the part not only the government, okay, of everyone to be looking at how to cure this ill, and I want to look at it from an investment point of view, that in as much as we want government to cure the problem, investors should also look at it from a different dimension, that look, we can invest in all this boils down to investment. Getting life jacket in there, getting a very good and a modern boat. Transport.
Connecting A to B.
Connecting, communities.
Yes,
okay. So I think that it's time the government opens its arm and then invite investors to invest in these areas. We've not really, take a critical look at this particular situation, that look, if you want the government to solve this problem, he may not be able to solve it, but let's call on investment.
Open it up.
It could even be the CSR and ensure that, look, let me commit part of my money just to save lives. Acquire some respectable means of transport on the rivers,
so we can
get life jackets.
All right. It's just
for some of those people who are sustaining lives there. And see, that's a food basket of this country.
It's true.
So sometimes if we want to look at it from purely investment point of view, we may always be losing the very life that provide food on our table.
You've made. I'll get Dr. Osoyen's views shortly, but I want to now just get back to Alan, because Alan has now moved to Awushi. There's an area called Barnyard, and he has a report that he wants to give to us right now. Alan, our chief laborer, talk to us.
Hi, Kafui, welcome to Barnyard. As you mentioned, just about some 10 minutes ago, I came to you from Malam Junction, where the sets of traffic lights out there have been off for nearly 2 weeks, making traffic flow out there. But for the presence of the police to take charge of it would have brought chaos. And indeed, if you use that part of town often, you would find when the police are not on site, the chaos and the amount of traffic that gets held up. A similar thing is down here at Barnyard. These sets of traffic lights behind me have not worked for some time now, and for those who drive along this N1 making our way in and out of town, the difficulty we have is when the police leave the place, especially during midday when the sun is so blazing hot, and obviously being there can be very uncomfortable. The chaos you have here is unbearable. The cost of fuel today is such that if you have to sit unduly long in traffic, it becomes a bit of a thing to worry about. So drivers or commuters get agitated when they're having to sit in traffic, or they get held up in traffic through no fault of theirs. Somebody is in charge of the N1. It is somebody's job to make sure that lights are functional on the N1. It is also somebody's job to ensure that the sets of traffic lights which we pay for is functional on the N1. But when you get to Barnyard, it seems Barnyard is a forgotten land. It's a traffic light which takes so much traffic on the N1 and off the N1, can be off for days, and the police have no choice but to put men on the ground to take charge of it. We can be forgiven if the light is off for at least 24 hours. But beyond 24 hours, then it's a major problem which needs attention immediately. Somebody's job is to monitor and report. Have they monitored? Have they reported? And why has it taken over 24 hours and the lights are still not functioning? Indeed, we can do all the talking, but if we don't put foot on the ground to make it work, Ghana is working again will remain a rhetoric, and it would not bring any results. This traffic light, as much as possible, should be working within 24 hours from when it broke down. But no. And one key thing I must also mention, if you drive around here at night, all the four sets will be green. So from whether you're coming from Odoko towards Awushi, or you are from Awushi towards Odoko, and you're coming in opposite directions on the N1, every side is showing green. And so then that also adds up to the chaos on this set or on this junction. It's a major junction on the N1. The police are here, but should we put the police on the traffic light? Indeed, it is acceptable if the traffic is heavy on one side, and obviously it is not allowing the other sides to flow. Without that, I think it is not really helpful to take the police off the beat and keep them on traffic when somebody is paid to do traffic and make it work. This is unacceptable, and this cannot be allowed to go on as usual. This has been Keep an Eye coming to you, coming to you from Bayard on the N1. As usual, my name once again is Darrell Alantego, your chief laborer. Thank you very much, Kafui, for coming back to us.
You're going to buy me some junk play when you come here. You almost forgot your own name. But thank you for that report. I don't think George Walker Bush will be happy with what is going on that highway with his name attached to it, you know, and traffic lights off. And Darrell, you're too generous. 24 hours to fix a traffic light, which can kill somebody's child going to school.
Yeah.
No, lights are off. You've got to fix this thing immediately. Man, when you're hungry, you eat. You don't wait for 24 hours and then you say, no, you're hungry, you eat. There's a problem, you fix it. So, but thank you very much. Keep them coming in. We need to put our eyes and on the ground on the issues so that we can bring them to the notice of people. And people are responding. We've had issues fixed that Darrell or Jay brought through. So we're really grateful to them for making the show what it is. We're going to get a couple of your messages from Thelma. And let me tell you something about getting through to Thelma. If you want her to read your messages, keep it crisp. MTA, no thesis allowed. Over to you, Thelma.
Thank you, Kaf. Indeed, that's a great, excellent tip. Keep it crisp. There's a journalism principle called KISS. Keep it short and simple. This is not the Judas one. It's the journalist principle. 05555610334 is the number. These are your views and opinions and not that of GBC. We'll get straight to it. A history lesson, perhaps. Kafui, in the 1980s, all Afra Electrical Company was in charge of the street lights in Accra. Let's give a contract to companies for the repairs of the street lights within our district. The system must work. Charles is saying this. And a lot of the messages are about traffic lights not working. Good morning, CAF. Most of the traffic lights at 37 Military Hospital interchange are not working.
Thank you.
And Osei says the spectacle above, someone is sending us a broken drain which will follow up on the old Ashomang Ableje stretch in the Gan East municipality. They've drawn the attention of the Assembly and the National Road Safety Authority as far back as 24 January 2022, but no show. And with the onset of the rains, the drain is widening, and your guess is as good as mine. Could you respectfully highlight same for action? Osei Kwabena Ableje. Osei will reach out to you and will perhaps figure out how to send a team there. And this is how not to send Thelma a message. Look, I can understand that. Okay, so I'll try and pick the first sentence. Hi, Kafui. Well, with this traffic light issue, we have noticed something going on very well in the system, which could have been very nicely rounded up. Something about a zebra crossing. Thank you. So keep it short. Then I can read it in its entirety. Good morning, my dear brother. My name is Francis Morgan. 4 years now, I'm a Saman traffic light. It's not doing its for. So the 2 weeks people sit down. 4 years. Amasaman is in the lead now.
4 years.
4 years. The light.
Are we doing a league table for traffic lights not working?
Traffic lights league table. 4 years.
4. More messages coming in. The fact is, when it comes to Ghana money, every bro go fit chop. We are all hungry. Why? Kroma Yeshe. Xavier from Sefrio. So most Ghanaians are expecting the president to do basic MMDCA's responsibilities because of some campaign promises. Some political presidential candidates can even promise of building toilets and pipe-borne water for some rural communities in Ghana. We need a total change in attitude.
Xavier says we're all hungry. Why?
He says
but there's also something called eating wrong meat. Please. The fact that you're hungry, don't even say you go chop wrong meat. You'll get some serious diarrhea.
That's a good one. Yeah. More messages coming. Frankly speaking, Kafui and Thelma, the listenership base of GTV. Okay, now this is a message I'll take my time to read. I don't know where these fine guys were all this while. Just do a smart survey on the performance in terms of listenership, and in fact, you'll see a very significant increase. And this is simply because, unlike other TV stations who parade the politicians to come and, as usual, speak to issues with their heavy political lenses, GTV assembles very patriotic and apolitical people who speak professionally. Keep it up, Kafu and Thelma, and indeed the entire GTV team. So this is for the whole team, everybody here in this room, waking up at 3 a.m. every day. For this message, it's worth it. More messages coming in. Good morning, GTV Breakfast. I think in this country, everything is the president. So they are waiting for the president to come and fix the traffic lights. It's about time MCEs know that they are the head of state in that district. So fire must be put on their desk.
Yeah. The V8 is not just for chill.
That is so.
Wake it up.
So, Cap, here's another shout to you. Good morning, Cap, and your team. I've been someone who followed you from one media house to the other. You're very cultured and very glad with what you're doing with GTV. I'm very glad with the team you're working with, and you're an inspiration to the youth, and I want to have more youth listening to your show. I want you to keep on succeeding. So try host Shatter on your show to have the audience of more youth of GTV BFS, because it's very good for them. Nee from Accra and says, kudos to your designers. Now, nice outfit.
Let me tell you the trick about Shatter. Shatter no go come here at this time. It's too early. So I have to go and interview him. And then kind of bring the interview here.
Okay. Which is possible. We've done that.
Yes.
So, Kaf, it's easy to say when contractors are owed millions and have not been paid, how do you go and ask the same contractor you owe to go and repair traffic lights? More coming in. Good morning. In front of Cantonment Police Post Office, traffic light is off for the past 6 months. My worry is that where all to their office. Cantonment
but please don't compare yourself to a big man. Have you ever sat in a convoy? Yeah, they move quickly, man. They don't need traffic lights. So please don't talk about the big man. Let's talk about the small man and make sure that the traffic lights are fixed for you and I who don't drive in convoys and blue and red flashing lights. Please. I seen convoys before. Be small. Hacho to airport 9 minutes.
I'm suspecting JAA. Maybe Irama has been maybe a secretary before, so it starts with RE. Traffic lights.
Yes.
So they are in response to what we are saying about traffic lights. There are many spots in Accra where the lights are malfunctioning, especially, example, Lati Junction. I wouldn't want to speculate, so I urge you to find out what has changed about the management of the lights to cause the increasing number of malfunctioning lights. Hint, former contracts were cancelled, the new one signed. Irama from
Saku. You didn't pronounce the name well.
Which one?
T Junction.
T Junction.
Junction. T Junction. You know what you're talking about. T Junction.
Traffic lights in our communities or highways. My suggestion is we must begin to rate all chief executives on performance and praise municipalities or districts on cities or towns that work. The local government must consider this. This will help Ghana or the president, which of these chief executives are working. And the criteria can include traffic light, sanitation, and others. Isaac Ampoma is making that suggestion. Good. I'm Asante Sasu from Dansoman, Russia.
Thank you.
So this is Russia. Sorry.
Russia.
Please, traffic lights at Graphic Road has been off for more than 2 years. 2 years. So there are 2 weeks, people. You're really at the back of that queue. Amasaman is still in the lead with 4 years. And now there's a 2 years
commanding lead.
Traffic lights at Adabraka around the mental hospital and Adabraka Polyclinic is not working for more than 1 month now.
And it's true because you have very suspicious looking men with red eyes telling you to come. You are in your car, the guy has eyes the color of blazing coals. And you're not one, he says, come. And I'm thinking,
where are we going?
Why is he directing traffic to me? So please deal with it.
Hi BFS, the traffic lights at Okponglo by 6 a.m. onwards doesn't work. Motorists drive dangerously and it's scary. This is every day.
Okay, so it's like the traffic lights do night duty. So at 6 a.m. they just stop because they've worked. They worked overnight.
They have to bring the morning shift people to come and take home.
Guys,
good morning. This is the hashtag we love to see, GTV Breakfast. Thank you, Elom, for using it. Nat, what's Nat saying from Awudume? Good morning, host, and welcome back to another fruitful week. We never left. We never left.
We were here.
We were here. The holidays has been gentle and peaceful one. Greetings to your minister, I think it's the Honorable Ifriya Koto. Christian Tete, I'm very much educated, which is why we wake up every morning Sikadie.
Sikadie.
Sikadie basabasa. Okay, my song is Sikadie basabasa. In fact, how do you feel when someone is hungry and MPs are bellyful? Check the song above. They've even sent us a link. Let me scroll up and see if there are any new messages. Ghana is not only Accra. Come to Tadi.
In fact, we'll come.
So I'm sure there are traffic light situations in Tadi as well. Kachel Achim across. So traffic light situation in the country is a whole course at the university. Traffic situation at Odan is experiencing doomso for years. Hamza joins Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm. Kaf, let's get serious in this country. We pay those who are responsible to be taking care of our traffic lights in this country. Who's responsible for that? Let us know. They cannot take us for granted whilst they are paid by the poor taxpayer.
Emmanuel says you should read his message.
Emmanuel, okay. I'll get straight to it. You guys are doing. Thanks for using that hashtag, by the way. The issue of traffic lights at Ablekuma Fan Milk Junction, the traffic lights are being controlled by the electricity. When there's light out, the traffic lights are off. And this has been causing accidents often at this junction. We can count a number of accidents just this year. Some claimed lives. Please, something should be done about it. Emmanuel from Ablekuma.
And there's something is just make them solar. You know, solar. Solar does not depend. Does God turn the sun off? Even when it's night, the radiation, whatever energy it's stored, is used to power. Just guys, there are solutions, Lacho. There are solutions.
This one says traffic lights in Ghana seem to be working on shift. Maybe red, gold, green.
Okay, so they are like on tracks, right?
Don't do that. So working on shift.
So the
I wonder
like
which
you have a
color
red track,
is on
you have a red
duty
track
this
and a green track and a gold track, and then the black track is when everything's off. You know, there's no light.
These are the opinions of those who are sending them. We are not laughing because we agree with it. Traffic lights in front of Ashaiman Municipal Assembly is not working since Friday. Ashaiman Municipal Assembly.
It went for Easter. It went for Easter. No, it went for Easter.
So on Easter, but he's on his way back from Peru.
Some of you guys are not back from Easter. Shame on you. You went for Easter. You are still. You're not
and
back.
they are shaming the MPs for not being in Parliament. Meanwhile, some people are calling in sick today because they haven't slept all night. Okay, sorry, ranting. Good morning, GTV Breakfast. The only thing that is in deficiency is inefficiency, human ingenuity. Put people with great minds and see if there wouldn't be a change. I don't know why government workers are always exhibiting indiscipline all the time. Imagine at the end of the month, your salary delays for just one day. These same people will be complaining. We expect government to work, but we behave otherwise when it's our turn to work. God save Mother Ghana from all our selfish self. And the street lights in front of GBC, when you hit the ring road at dawn, it's pitch black, nothing there.
Yeah.
All those lights are not working. So since everybody is complaining about their lights, the one in front of GBC too.
Yes.
Doom
around
cry.
the Prudential Bank area.
Yes. That one is doom cry. It's not, so there's no saw in there.
All right.
So I'll give it back to you, Kath.
Thank you so much, Thomas. You say we laugh because sometimes if you don't laugh, you cry, and you don't want to cry on television, you know. But it's sad that all these lights are not working. Some for 2 years, some for 2 weeks, some for 4 years, and you have people in charge who are supposed to are drawing salaries. They've got bodyguards, official cars, free fuel. Fix the lights. That's all we want, so that it's safe for your own family members, not just you. It's for people who may be affected by the lights going off. Because accidents happen.
It does.
Yeah.
Kafi, there is a national street lighting policy framework for Ghana. This was developed as far back as 2011 by the Ministry of Energy. What has become of that? Let us make sure that we implement this policy. We have a lot of documents. So Ministry of Energy should go back and look at the street lighting policy framework for Ghana. That was developed in 2011 and operationalize it.
They should audit that policy.
That's all.
Yes.
That's all.
Dr. Eric Odru Osai is the Director General of the Internal Audit Agency. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Professor Kokumauto, are you teaching today?
Yeah.
Okay. What course?
Corporate reporting. I'll do one in the afternoon and then in the evening.
One of these days, I want to just come and sit in your class and just audit it.
All right.
Just get out of curiosity.
That's okay.
Yes?
That's okay. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. All righty. Gentlemen, I really thank you. It's been great. Always look forward to Tuesdays. Your Easter was good, I'm sure. Did you do paragliding? Did you go? Would you ever paraglide?
No, not.
You never do it?
Not.
Why not?
No, paragliding, I'm afraid. I mean, anything can happen.
Like what?
You can fall from the skies, and that when
But you're already falling from the skies.
So Friday, Easter was good. Friday was my birthday, so I.
Let me sing for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. You're looking shy.
No, I'm not looking shy. I'm enjoying this.
We wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Would you paraglide?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I think. Some time to come, I'll surely
He's a strong man.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to.
With a name like Mauto,
I will surely.
You're not afraid?
No. I'm not.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. When is your birthday? When is your birthday? I'll sing for you. When is your birthday?
July 27th.
27th.
Yeah.
Book a song for me.
All
right, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We've got conversations on financial literacy. We've got music from Urban Music, and the music that is speaking to you about the situation in Ghana. We still want Wendy Shea and Shatta are in a commanding lead. But let's see what happens. You stay with us. This is GTV Breakfast. Our WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. Tama is coming up next. She's going to talk money. Sika, Aga, Kudi, Argent. Don't go anywhere.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pamper, so we try our suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see whatever I'm gonna do, we go straight to stardom. I'm gonna take you to next level. Oh, baby, oh yeah. The energy next level. But baby, oh yeah. I'll take you to next level. Oh, baby, oh yeah.
I don't code next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Sun City.
How long?
Wetin man no go fit do, you dey do I'm saying. Taking
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show.
Thanks for staying on. It's still Breakfast Live on GTV. On this segment, we're talking financial literacy. And as we said at the start of the show, the month of April has been designated Financial Literacy Month with the aim to improve financial awareness and financial literacy in Ghana. Why is this? At the table by Peter Asari Nyako. He's the Executive Director, Center for Financial Literacy Education, Africa. Peter, good morning and welcome.
Hi, Tema. Thank you very much.
Yes. So when we hear financial literacy, we know it's about money.
Sure.
But is that all it is? Just money?
No.
Okay.
It goes beyond money. So financial literacy has to do with a set of knowledge, skill set, attitude, and behavior on how best one can manage his financial resources.
It sounds like a course you read in university, or is it just basic things that we all need to know, or something that requires a particular mindset to even begin to understand?
Okay, so interestingly, financial literacy isn't taught in school. So it's something that you have to be intentional about it. You have to apply it in your everyday life decisions. So someone can be a lawyer, someone can be a doctor, but does not have the essential principles to managing his personal finance. So it entails an individual being intentional about it and taking the right decisions when it comes to his or her money.
You mentioned principles. Tell us about some of those.
Okay, so when you talk about the principles, you can talk about paperwork. You have to organize your paperwork. From the very day you were born.
Which paperwork are you talking about?
From the very day you were born, you were given a birth certificate. Since that day, your paperwork has been increasing. You engage in a financial transaction, like open an investment account, you are given an investment certificate. You buy a land, you are given a contract. You rent an apartment, you are given an agreement. So all this paperwork needs to be organized in a way that when something happens, you can get access to this document. And your net worth, you have to analyze your net worth. You can talk about cash flow. You can talk about
the net worth. What is it?
It's your actual financial position. So when we take your assets, the things you own in life, and we take your financial obligations, that's your liabilities, the difference is your net worth, your actual financial position. And then we can talk about cash flow, your income and your expenses. We can talk about knowing about your employment benefit. What are the benefits your employer gives you? You need to be aware of it. You can talk about planning for financial independence and retirement, planning for major expenditures. Before you buy a car, there should be some forward thinking before you even purchase that car. You can talk about taxes, insurance, investment, estate and gift planning. So these are the elements that comes together to form financial literacy.
So it sounds from listening to you when you mentioned birth certificate to all these things that we do, it sounds like at every stage in your life there's some form of financial literacy thing going on. So why is it that most people are not more aware of some of these choices? Is it because they are very formal and people tend to think about these things in a more relaxed manner?
I think most people do not, because in our homes we are not taught how we can manage our money. Even when you are a young kid and you are talking about money, your parents will be like, stop, you are a kid. So it's from our culture and the environment we find ourselves in. Money is not part of the conversation. The moment you talk about money, people see you as someone who is, even they tag rich people as wicked people. So it has not been part of our conversation right from the scratch.
And it's not taught in school. So how are we supposed to learn about financial literacy and be aware of some of these principles that we've mentioned?
So that is why the Improving Financial Awareness and Financial Literacy movement has come to champion this course. We are working with educational institutions to start inculcating some of these principles into their academic syllabus. And in the foreign world, financial literacy is on the rise and it is now coming to our world. So we want to encourage everyone to get involved so that we can teach these principles to every single Ghanaian.
You are Executive Director for the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa. What do you do?
Okay, Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa seeks to create an Africa in which all people are financially literate. So we develop skill sets, we promote financial awareness and financial literacy, and we educate every single Ghanaian to become financially literate.
So is it like a school where people come to study and you give certificates? Like what kind of center is it?
It's a non-profit organization.
Okay.
That we work with partners, we work with individuals, and we work with education organizations. So together with University of Ghana Business School, we have established the FA Association to champion financial literacy within the university community. We are talking to Central University. Tomorrow we are at Kadrik University in Sunyani. So we are trying to bring all universities on board so that we can espouse these principles to them, so that they will make it available to their students.
I mean, when you talk about finances, the key thing a lot of people think about is how do I make more money? And when people ask you that question,
so I tell them there are different ways of earning money, and one thing you can do is to either you get a job, and for you to be paid more in your job, you need to add value to whatever you do. So in your workplace, you need to be valuable to your employer. You need to improve your skill set. Money is a byproduct of the value you give to people, the value you provide, the solutions you give to people. So once you are providing this value, money becomes a byproduct. So if you want to earn more money, then you need to be valuable.
So if you want to be rich,
be valuable. Provide solutions to the world. All the richest people we know in the world are people who are giving solutions. So they have income. He's doing an investment here, he has this company, he has this business. So they are providing value to people. They are giving people services that benefit them. And once they are doing that, the money is going back to them.
And what are some of the key things you need to put in place, or some of the key principles you need to apply when you're thinking these thoughts of creating wealth and you want to put your finances in order?
Okay, so we call something the essential principles to personal financial planning.
Okay.
So everything you want to do with regards to money, there should be some planning. If you want to buy this phone, there should be some planning behind it. So first of all, you need to define your goals. What are your life goals? There are no financial goals. They are life goals with financial implications. So once you define your goal, then you gather and organize your financial data. So I want to buy a phone. How much is the phone? Where do I get money to buy the phone? So you organize and gather your financial data. After doing that, you develop strategies. You develop your strategies. Then you implement your strategies. Then you monitor and track your progress. So if you want to buy this phone, that is your goal. You gather your information. How much is the phone? How much do I need to purchase the phone? Then you develop your strategies. All success comes with discipline. If you are not disciplined, you cannot absolute control of your finances.
So discipline in what?
Discipline in your attitude. So when I defined financial literacy, I spoke about attitude. I spoke about behavior. So if you have to cut down on your expenses to be able to achieve your financial goal, you need to do that. That is where the discipline comes in. If you have to be consistent in saving 50 Ghana cedis every month to achieve your financial goal, you need to do that. That is where the discipline comes in.
Okay. And there are people who think that, okay, I already earn so little, how can I save?
Yes, this is something I get a lot. And I tell people, you need to know why you have to save. If you know the why behind the thing you are doing, you will always do it. So I told them saving should be an expense. on your budget. So at the end of the month, if your landlord is coming for the rent, you will give the rent to your landlord. So make savings an expense. So you know that at the end of the month, once I get my money, 10%, 50% goes into my savings account. And then I can then manage the rest of my money. So we need to discipline ourselves, make savings an expense so that every month we can save something.
And it's funny because a lot of people have dreams of becoming financially independent. They have dreams of setting up businesses, and they have dreams of, you know, becoming entrepreneurs. But then the money factor is always a problem. How do you advise people to overcome the financial hurdle when it comes to perhaps aspiring to be a businessman or woman?
Okay, so in my book, I've written a book, and in my book I talk about the easy money principle. So whatever you want to do, I think the easy money principle can help you achieve your financial goals. The first one has to do with earning money. No one becomes rich without consistently increasing his or her income. So you need to earn some money. This is where, if you have to get a skill, if you have to go to school, if you have to add value to yourself, because money is value. Then after earning money, you save the money. You don't spend all the money. It's good to spend some money, have some fun and all that.
Because life is too short.
Sure, but you need to save some money. And once you save the money, most people save the money and they think they are creating what? They leave their money in the bank, but your money should be working hard as you are working. So you need to invest your money. This is where you can decide to invest in yourself. You can decide to invest in assets, income generating assets. You can decide to buy a fixed deposit, T-bill and all that. So you earn money, you save money, you invest money. Keep repeating this and you can achieve every dream that you have.
And it sounds like you're giving us everyday tips to become more financially independent.
Sure.
From what you're saying. So make money, save the money, invest the money, and
repeat it.
And repeat, and don't chop all the money. Don't spend all the money. When you're making plans to spend certain amounts of money, usually it's the today that people think about, because the argument is, if I'm not alive tomorrow to benefit from what I'm saving for today, then what's the point? So how do you get people to think about the end from the beginning when it comes to financial and the choices that they need to make to achieve the life goals which come with financial implications?
Okay, thank you, Thelma. I would say let's use COVID as a case study. No one knew COVID was coming, and we just wake up one day and government was like, go on lockdown for 3 months, and most people suffered within this period. So you have to think ahead. Now you are strong, now you are earning a lot of money. There will be a time where you go on retirement. You cannot even do what you do now. And life is uncertain. Anything can happen to you at any point in time. So you need to take all these factors into consideration and save some of your money, so that when that uncertainty comes, you can stand with it.
In other countries, one of the ways to deal with uncertainties when it comes to finances is to borrow. And countries actually encourage you to borrow money, because then they tell you it builds your credit score, and they know that when you take the money, you can pay it back. And if you keep at it for a number of times, they give you even more loans. And then so the ripple effect of keep borrowing because you remain in good books with the state and with the banks is a thing. That's very different in Ghana, isn't it?
Sure.
If you borrow, then you are in debt in Ghana. So explain to us how borrowing in Ghana can affect our future financial plans.
Okay, so I think the entire concept of borrowing is not that good, because
we shouldn't borrow.
Yes. From
the banks, from friends, from family.
If you want to take charge of your financial life, then you should take out borrowing.
Then how are you going to money?
Because there's this statement, the Bible says that the borrower is a slave to the lender. And so if you want to take charge of your financial life, I think you should do away with that. And for businesses, credit was created for businesses to grow their business. And if you are even starting out your business, you don't need to borrow. We borrow money to expand our business. So now let's come back to the individual. The only reason you should borrow money should be to buy an income generating asset, something that can pay back the money you borrowed. If it is not happening, I don't advise people to go into debt, because the more debt you incurred, the more you get yourself into financial ruin, and it can hurt your financial success.
So ideally, since we are on the subject of borrowing, what should you not borrow to do? What's your advice?
To buy assets. So most people
don't borrow to
buy liabilities.
To buy liabilities, which would be what?
Things that takes money out of your pocket.
So
things
don't
that
borrow to buy a car?
You borrow to buy a car when you know the car will bring in monetary value.
And then it will end up paying for itself.
Yes.
So can you borrow to buy a house?
A house. If the house is for rental, if it is a rental property, if you are building the house to rent some out so that you can pay back what you borrowed. But if you go for a loan and build a house and the house is not giving you money, it's not proper.
Okay. And can you borrow to pay school fees? Is that a good idea? Because you are just telling us we have to get knowledge, get a job, be valuable to your employer, and all these things also come with their own financial implications.
Student loan, in this era where you complete school and you're not even getting a job, it raises some questions. But if you are sure after school I can do something for myself and pay back my student loan, then you can go for it. But there are always some thinking behind it, there are some planning behind it before you even go for a loan. At
the tertiary level, students, some of them have some incomes already, some are already working. How do you advise students working and non-working whilst they are in school, so that they at least start developing a habit before they face the full realities of full-time work?
Sure. So I would say now that they are in school, this is the time for them to save enough money. Because when you are out of school...
If you are in school, how are you saving? Mommy gave you money, daddy gave you money, or you are working and you are putting part of your salary towards your fees. So where is the room in there for saving?
If you are working to pay your fees, that is understandable. But if someone is helping you pay your fees, then any money that comes as a side money should go into savings. But I've seen that once we are on campus, most of the money that we get, we use them unnecessarily. We engage them in habits that will not help us achieve success. So we should develop the habit of savings. We should put some money aside. We should save at least some percentage of our money, so that when we are out of school, we can use that money to start something when the job is not coming.
Anytime some hear about financial literacy and saving, they think, well, there's no room in there for me to treat myself and to have fun. Are you saying those things are not necessary to live a balanced life?
It's good to have fun, but you need to plan for it. I have a lot of fun. I go out most of the times, but I have plans for it. You don't just have fun for fun's sake. You don't just take money and blow it out. You should plan for it before you engage in that.
a plan.
Yes.
It seems like every sentence that you say, there's a plan, the word plan is in there somewhere. How does financial literacy help us to develop the economy, for example?
Okay, so I'll say with the individual, it equips the individual to start doing something for themselves. It gives them the skill set, the knowledge to even how to start a business. It's part of financial literacy. How to save, how to grow your money, they are all part of financial literacy. So the individual becomes equipped to handle his financial affairs. And once the individual is financially equipped, they are able to raise more money, they're able to help the people around them. And that gives the government a lot of space to provide social incentives to the public, to do social amenities to the people. Because now e-levy, government said we should pay e-levy, and most of people are complaining because the money is not even there to pay for e-levy. But once the people are financially empowered and they are creating wealth for themselves, if you say we should pay e-levy, everybody will be willing to pay e-levy. So I think financial literacy is a tool that the government can use to equip the people, and in return, the government will get the benefit.
So this month you're doing raising awareness for financial literacy. What are some of the activities you have lined up?
Okay, so we started with a press launch at the University of Ghana on the 4th of April. We had great speakers, the CEO of Ghana Association of Bankers. We had a rep from Chartered Institute of Bankers. And great speakers were lined up. And on the 11th of April, we went to Takoradi. We had another press conference in Takoradi. Tomorrow, 20th, we are going to Sunyani, Kadrik University College to have another press conference. Aside that, there have been a series of webinars. So we had personal financial webinar with KPMG Ghana. We had retirement and pensions webinar with Aziz Pension. We have 2 other webinars coming up. Insurance webinar with Prudential Life Insurance, and a tax planning webinar with Deloitte Ghana. And on the 28th and 29th, we are going to Medina Market to engage the market women on how best they can plan their finances and create a good future for themselves and their family.
It sounds like you have your hands full and you'll be doing a lot of engagement. Sunyani, tomorrow, other webinars, 28th, 29th, Medina Market, engaging market women. The goal is to make the message sink down to even the grassroots level. Why are you targeting market women specifically in Medina?
So the goal is to go to each of the markets in Ghana. But because I think we are located in Medina, so that's why we are starting from Medina. Last year, April, we went to Medina, and based on their feedback, we are going back to respond to most of the responses we received from them. So this is an every year thing. So we are having 2 campaign venues every year, in April and in October. And we are looking forward to visiting all the market areas in Ghana.
All right. Share a contact with us, perhaps, so that those who may want to reach you to benefit from some of the things you offer at the center.
Okay, so I would say you can check us out on social media, all social media platforms. When you go on LinkedIn, Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa. When you go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at CFLE Africa. And our website is www.cfleafrica.org.
Go over those contacts again, because I'm sure somebody's writing it down.
Sure.
So go over it again so that we can get it.
So on social media, Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa. And on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, CFLE Africa, at CFLE Africa. And our website is cfleafrica.org. So when you go to our website, you get access to a lot of materials. They are all for free. Personal financial materials that will help you manage your personal finance. And on YouTube, CFLE Africa. have been uploaded on YouTube, and you can get access to them as well.
Okay, I'm going to try and pick a few messages from our screen, and then if there are some questions, perhaps you can help us to answer them. Yep. Hi, BFS. Good topic. But the challenge is the capital to start business is a problem of many people with fantastic ideas. The question is how to get the money to start a dream business as a jobless person who doesn't have any property to rent out or sell. Michael is asking from Ashalaja. I bet you get this a lot.
Sure. So one of my colleagues or my mentors say this: there's a time a man works for money, and there's a time money works for a man. So my advice would be find something doing. Yes, even if you have to sell something to get money to start your business, you have to do that.
Okie dokie. It makes sense to borrow money to buy a house because you will make savings by not paying rent. Besides, you avoid landlord wahala. So this is what someone is saying. You can borrow money to buy a house, is what they're saying, because then you don't pay rent anymore.
Okay, so you have to weigh the options. You have to consider where your money is coming from. Can you really pay your loan? Because if you default on your loan, there are also some consequences that you need to face. Yeah, so that goes back to the planning aspect. There's always some planning to do before you make a financial decision.
Right. I like that part that you said, savings come with sacrifice. I'm really learning today. Xavier Seshi from Seshi Asafo is reaching us from. Savings come with sacrifice,
Sure.
Because you have to sacrifice perhaps paragliding in Kwewu during the Easter to save money to do something. Would you paraglide though?
Sure.
So true for financial literacy. Earn, save and invest. Reap the steps and be consistent with it. So much on point, Peter, is what one of our viewers is saying. The question is, your pay is 500 a month, and in Ghana the cost of living is high. How can you save part of 500 cedis to achieve your goals? Is that possible, Peter?
Yes. I would say cut down on your lifestyle. You have to live within your means. Now you have to even live below your means. So if you are earning 500 and your rent is 300, then you need to maybe get take you 150 Ghana cedis to be able to save money.
And chances are that will be further out of town if you're working near the city center, which would then mean you have to pay more for transport if you have to make it to work. And then there's still the 500 cedis is being taxed.
Sure.
More and more.
Sure. So this is where you have to invest in yourself to be more valuable, to earn more money, or you have to start a side hustle, sell something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in that regard, someone is asking, what business can I do with 1,000 Ghana cedis?
1,000 Ghana cedis. It depends. So mostly I get these questions a lot, but I need to sit with you, find out what you are interested in, because I can recommend a business and that is not your passion. Because it is working for someone does not mean it will work for you. So we need to sit down, look at what you are passionate about. Someone can sell pure water and make it in life because that is his or her passion or something.
Have you met anybody whose passion is to sell pure water?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I know people. There's a guy who said for him all he wanted to do was to get a container, bring in pure water, and people will come and retail and sell. And he's making it.
Okay.
So
here's a question. Thelma, please ask him, saving your income and investing your income, which one is the best way to be financially sound as a young worker? Silas Udum is asking from Mankesim.
We save with the intention to spend money in future, and we invest with the intention to earn money in future. So if your goal is
say that again, we save with the intention
to spend money.
To spend.
Yes.
But invest
to earn money.
Right. That's quite fascinating. Anyway, improving financial literacy is one of the best topics to discuss because youth of nowadays don't know how to save at all. Yeah, or Sankide from Taifa. The at all cry is what got me. But those are your messages. And Peter, share your number with those who are watching us, especially the one that you were suggesting should contact you to offer perhaps a discussion on what they can do with 1,000 cedis as a business.
Okay, sure. So 0278 553 887 0278 553 887.
Okay, and if anyone wants to see you actually in person, they can come to the University of Ghana. Where do they find you?
So my office is at Adenta.
Adenta.
Yes. So once they call the number, they can meet up with me and
take it from there indeed. Peter, thank you so much for sharing a part of your morning with us. Peter Sarinyako is the Executive Director of the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa. April is Financial Literacy Month, and they are raising awareness on why you should be more mindful of your finances. Plan is a word he's shared with us today, and hopefully it has helped you have a better appreciation of what you need to do, perhaps to achieve that dream that you've always had. Always take the first step, and with God's help, it's likely to grow. We'll be back with more on The Breakfast Show. It's live from Kanda in Accra, and we'll take a break. Valerie comes with the Yellow Couch segment to warm it all up after this.
Yes, I can. Don't be late. I grown us on the anthem. Yes, I can. Don't be late.
Coming live from the capital. This is The Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital. This is The Breakfast Show.
got the steez, I got the style, no. I got the sika with my tie, so anything you want, I go give you.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
And that's urban music to the whole Riase. Welcome to GTV Breakfast, the Yellow Couch, which is brought to us by kindness of Quick Credit. We'll take a quick break and listen to what Quick Credit has in store for Ghanaians, and we'll be right back.
Emma worry me. Watch me, you come 1 week, Mr. WBT. Oh, now,
yes, Buga, nothing. Senior, down, mommy, business is a collapse. I'm out of banks. So, won't take quick credit, Inca. Quick credit? Yes, quick credit. Who Pesica? Eddie Astatia, you may be. Who here be seen Eddie Atru, Judim. We are government and a private worker. Who Pesica, they are till horses. We are Busumi, Juma. Who yes, can be been tempered. So, quick credit, Bema loan, and what you are in Kakaka. Now, and let just some Cassian say, a collateral free loaner, Susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit as MBL. You hear me say, Wagana card 2022 year, 1 year Juma, now one hour young. Who need excuse here? Quick credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 20833.
Welcome back, guys. And so yeah, the video and the performance you saw there was by Urban Music. Urban is a reggae dance hall and an Afro beats musician as well. What you heard him sing was Steez, his latest release. The video to that song is yet to be released. So yeah, Urban is on our Yellow Couch. Urban,
hi,
welcome.
Thank you very much. Wow.
Okay, so give and take. The last I heard of Urban Music was like 3-4 years ago.
That's right. That was about 2019.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's happening with Urban Music? What's happening in your camp?
Right now we're planning. We're under planning, and we have a whole lot of songs that we're trying to bring out there. So we've been working so far. You know, we've been working since 2019. I've been doing some releases though, but we haven't really given it the deep promotion yet. So that's why it seems like I've been around since 2019. You know, so we're still working.
You're underground.
That's
right. When you're not doing music? I know from some of the stuff I've seen online that you still work in the creative space.
That's right.
What do you do?
I must say it's everything I do is just around music. You know? Yeah, for now everything I do is just around music, and we have a studio that we work and also try to produce songs for other artists as well. So everything I do is
you're a music producer as well, or a sound engineer?
I'm not a producer, I'm not an engineer, but I must say I own the studio, so we're trying to give helping hand to some of the other musicians who wants to come and record in our studio. So it's more or less within the music circles.
Okay. So is this thing true that when there's an upcoming artist and they come to you guys, they come to your studios and years, and there are artists who own these studios, you make it difficult for that talented and they have good music to come in? Is it true? I mean, it's just a rumor we heard.
That's not true. That's not true. Actually, I don't really take part in the studio sessions. It's just like it's mine. So people know me, like this up and coming artists. They know me. They want to work with me or come to my studio to work. So they even pass through me before I send them to the studio.
Okay, cool.
I have a manager for the studio, but you know I love to help the up and coming artists. So
righties.
That's never true.
Okay. So a caption you put up on one of your social media. Slides. It was of you. That's it. It's on the screen right now. And your caption says, "Congratulations on your new song, Steez. Hope you don't mind sharing this journey with us." Tell me, what journey? What journey was it?
Yes,
tell us.
It hasn't been easy. You know, like you said, since 2019, you haven't really seen me in the music space, so it hasn't been easy. Actually, if you are doing everything on your own, you're actually the executive producer of your own records, you know, it's not easy. Money coming from your own pocket, it's not easy. So this caption actually was to say that any other person, any other musician who is also in my situation or issue can also work things out around himself or herself. You know, it's good to have some people or some investors coming in to help you, but if they're not in, you have to do it yourself. So I just put it out there for them to know it won't be easy. Maybe if it were you, you couldn't have stand it. Yeah.
It won't be easy, yeah. So that's the steez that came with it. Alrighty. You are into two different kinds of music genres.
Okay.
Dancehall and reggae. I don't know if I should put it in one category.
Yeah.
And then Afro beats.
Yeah. I actually would say I started doing music. I started doing high life. You know, I started with high life.
You started with high life?
Yeah.
So your first song was a high life song?
My first song was a R&B song. My first ever song recorded in 2001 was an R&B song. Yeah, but as time went on, I got to know I have the talent to jump on every other music genre. But reggae, dancehall and Afrobeat have been one of the genres that I'm able to express myself when I'm singing on that. So reggae, dancehall and Afrobeat is what I have really come to specialize myself in doing. Even though in my previous release, my EP, I had a high life song, about 3 high life songs on that EP.
What were the titles of the songs, the 3 songs?
I had Support.
Okay.
I had Melanin.
Melanin.
Okay. Yeah. And I had Jubilate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All English?
Yes, all English, but there were
life.
Tree and everything in it.
Okay, so how about
English high life?
English high life, yeah, it sounds weird. Okay, so how does Jubilate sound?
Jubilate has a feel of hip life, has a feel of high life, and has a feel of Afrobeat.
Okay.
I'm saying this because some of the tones and some of the instruments we use in the music, you can have the that gives you the high life feel, and you have the, should I say, pong pong. Yeah, that one will give you the Afrobeat feel, and you know, yeah. So that's how Jubilate is composed.
Okay, Aben, do you play an instrument?
I play the guitar, but I'm not so perfect. Okay. Yeah, I play the guitar.
Okay, would you say reggae dancehall artists who play live you guys play better when you play live than when you record? Is that true? I've spoken to quite a number of people in the reggae industry, and they say
naturally playing live music is so sweet, is so nice, you know. And when you record in the studios, there are sometimes you wouldn't be perfect singing in the studios, and that is the work of the engineer to try and tune your voices and all that. So when it comes out, it will sound so nice and so sweet. But when you're on the live instruments, you're playing and you're singing, it sounds so sweet, and I prefer that one.
Okay, so now let's go back to the question, the high life question.
That's right.
I mentioned Jubilate, and then you clarified and said it wasn't
right.
just high life. So
That's
I want one of the high life tunes that was on your EP.
Okay, Support.
And it's in
Support is
English.
strictly, it's in English and it's in Ga and it's in Tree. I fused the local languages.
Aban, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, I said, Support goes like, Wabeya ya ya shiyame male. Who said that? Beya ya ya shiyame male. If you go support me, yeah, yeah. Don't you bring me down at all. Yeah, yeah. Because this thing where we they do, it no be easy at all, yo. All I need is your support, yo. Don't bring me down. Who say that? Yeah, wanna. My party, who say that? Yeah, we can go on. Who say that? That's what ya, she am male. Who say that? That's what ya, she am male. Who say that? That's what ya, she am male. Who say that? What ya, she am male. That's how it goes.
Beautiful music, Aban.
Thank you
Beautiful
very much.
music.
I
Okay,
appreciate
let's go back to you. So how many EPs do you have?
I have one EP so far, and it's a 5-track album.
5 tracks.
That's right.
And then on those ones, you had the 3 semi-high lives.
I want to put this across. There was the song that EP is titled Distance. It's a reggae high life. It's a reggae beat, but I sang it in Tree. And you know, when we say high life here in Ghana, we always want to say this kind of But I grew up listening to Kodrin Tree and Amachi the Days, and I got to know the genre they were doing is high life, or they're doing is high life. And when I listened to the songs, they sang it on a reggae beat.
Right.
So I felt like, oh, this is also a high life, but just on a reggae beat. So the first song on that EP, Distance, is a reggae high life song.
Okay. And then your song, Strong and Tight.
Straight and Tight.
Straight and Tight.
Yeah.
Straight and Tight.
Straight and Tight.
Okay. Is it which genre does it fall under?
That's a dancehall.
That's a proper dancehall. Okay. So guys, we're going to take a break, and
that's right.
We have Straight and Tight on your screens now by Urban Music.
That's right.
Baby, master. Baby, if you know that I'm on candles, yeah, baby. Who have a girl, I go let her go.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Yeah, I'm the ladies' man.
You heard it from the horse's own mouth. You are ladies' man.
That's right.
Are you single, searching?
Single
what's
and
happening there?
Single and searching.
Single and searching.
Yeah. I'm searching.
Guys, he's searching. I mean, girls, he's searching. Right. Let's talk about Straight and Tighter. What went into it? What inspired you? How long did it take for you to put the video together?
Okay, Straight and Tight. This video actually, if you watch the video and you watch the length of my hair, you could tell that I shot this video way back in 2019. But yeah, I released the video
just before the break.
That's right.
Right.
So we had to go on that break to plan and prepare and find out a date to release the Straight and Tight. So what went into it? The song actually, I was inspired. If you listen to the first verse, first stanza, it says, "Who have a girl or who has a girl and will let her go out to another man's arms. I'm not doing that because I'm a Rasta man and I know how to keep an old man."
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I had a couple of friends come to visit and they're very beautiful. So I was like, yo, who got this girl them? We allow them girl them to go visit a man. So you know, I'm a good boy. You know, I'm not going to do anything bad with them. But you know, I just put in my head, yo, I can write something around this. Yeah. So that's how come I had the inspiration for the song.
So when was it released?
It was released in February. Yeah.
How's it doing?
It's doing great. It's doing great. It's doing great with the streaming on YouTube. It's doing so great on Facebook and Instagram. I really love it.
Okay, now let's talk streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Most people we speak to, most artists we speak to on here have their own ways of making money from the music they make.
Yeah.
The structures that government has in place and the creative arts industry, it's not really
at all.
Exactly.
It's not helping us at all.
Okay. So how do you get by? How do you make money from your music?
Yeah, I think that ever since I released my first song, I haven't had any royalties coming from any of these Ghana
streaming
platforms. I haven't had it. You actually have to pay some of these bloggers to even put your songs on their platforms as well. But for Spotify, Boomplay, and some of these streaming platforms, you have to get your song to distributors for them to distribute to all of these various platforms. And then when your song gets the most and good streams, you're going to get some royalties from those platforms. So I think ever since I started, I've gotten something from these platforms and not from any of the Ghana music platforms.
Okay, so from where you sit as an artist and a person who comes into contact with that creative person, the studio that you have, what do you think? Because we know that government listens to us when we speak. So what do you think can be done or reversed? Something change in the structures to make you people get your money.
Sure. I think that we have to get close or educate our digital space the more. We have to let them go out there to go and learn what goes on with these other various platforms that are able to pay us.
Okay, Aban, chill. This digital platform, how many people in the creative space here in Ghana know what a digital space even is?
Wow. Well, I've come across most artists who do not know about it. When they come to my studio, I tell them, Charlie, when you finish this song, we have to work on it and promote it and put them on these platforms and you can make money out of it. They say, oh, they don't know about all of these. It's very true. It's not every artist that knows about these digital platforms, but that is what everyone must know. You know, that's what I'm saying. We need the education about the digital platforms must be very, very deep, and so that every other artist, even the young artists, can also know that if I do music today and I put it on those platforms, come 5 years later or 10 years later, I might have made some money out of that, you know.
Okay. So from what you're saying, I think that maybe artists should educate them, berating government all the time.
Yes, I think that artists must also look out for how to let their songs go out there and also make money from that song as well.
So in 10 years, Aban, in 10 years, where do you see Ghana's music industry?
Whoa.
In 10 years.
Big in 10 years. I'm from now, I'm seeing that the Ghana music industry is really growing, you know, and we're also trying to get to know about these streaming platforms, and I can see that most people talk about it when they have good streaming numbers, they come to put it out there. And so 10 years to come, the Ghana music industry is going to be on the world map, and I think that it's going to boost every other artist to, you know, work hard in the Ghana music industry.
Righties.
Yeah.
Do you have any role models?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in the music industry. Do you have any role models?
Yeah. Well, I would say that this is coming from the music industry. Kojontri is really a role model. Is, you know, and Amachidede is as well. But as for role model, like out of the music space, it's a lady, and that's my mom.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a go-getter, and I think I picked that thing from her, so I'll say she's my role model.
Nice.
Yeah.
Biden, before you leave us, Aban, final words. Are you working on any projects? Before your final words, are you working on any projects? Perhaps an Aban concert. What's in the pipelines for you?
Yes, we released these a few days ago, and then we have plans to promote Steez and also have a show for that. We actually wanted to do that during the Easter services, but we had other shows, other people calling us for shows, so we couldn't perform ours. And so we're planning maybe next month or two with the perform concerning the Steez song as well. Nice.
Okay, your final words before you leave us.
Yeah, I want to say to my fans, yo, big up yourself. You don't know, say urban music still there, but you know, yeah, we took a break and we're back. Even though within the break we were still releasing songs, and I want to say a big thank you to all my fans who've been streaming my songs. Keep streaming. Steez is out there on all music platforms, and so go get it, stream it, and let's keep going. Big up yourself. You don't know. Straight. Yeah, man.
Righties. And so yes, his name is Bernard Fifi Aban, aka Aban Music, and he has been our guest on the Yellow Couch. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the whole gang will be here. Here's a quick break.
Whoever girl, I go let her go out to another man's arms. I'm not doing that, baby. Man, a Rasta man, me know if you do it right. We keep her home and baby girl. No bad man could have come trick you now.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live.
Promise the whole gang is here, minus Mouse. Is on her way, guys.
Cool and the gang.
Yes. I am still recovering from Easter festivities and everything Easter.
You guys.
I'm still recovering, but
What
hey,
is
it's
we
been a
guys?
good show today.
Yeah, you guys had fun during Easter.
Shout out to all the people at my church, Accra Wesley Cathedral. Yesterday we left the church premises at 1 a.m. So we made up for all the 2 years Easter that we didn't do.
Oh, you actually
went to church at 1 a.m.
went to
We had
church.
a picnic.
Oh wow!
And
Midnight
because
picnic.
it rained earlier in the day. In our defense, it rained. So the picnic sort of started around 3 p.m. So we had to make up for the past 2 years that we haven't been there.
And you close at 1.
And some of us left there at that time.
1 a.m.
Because we have to clean up after people. Some of us are church workers. Don't say these things. Clean up, pack the chairs, tables, make sure that it's presentable by morning. So that's why. So shout out to Accra Wesley, our superintendent minister.
I was born in the 70s. I grew.
Our superintendent minister, very Reverend Dr. Nana Kwesi Batplans. God will bless you. You will live long. Okay, thank you.
I don't buy this story.
That's our story. We are sticking to it.
Okay, all right. And you?
I was working.
You were working?
Yesterday in the evening you were working. What work do you do in the evening?
Guys, I'm tearing up because of tea.
So I put a question out there about like what song are you listening to right now that kind of expresses how you feel about Ghana today. And so far, Wendy Shea's song Heat is trending. And then apparently Shatta Wale has also dropped one. Is it On God? Or
Valerie would know.
So yeah, it's still flowing. I mean, let us know what songs you are enjoying. What music is the soundtrack to your life right now? What's the soundtrack to your life right now?
Simply trusting every day.
I am trusting the Lord Jesus.
Simply trusting every day. Trusting through the stormy days. Even when my faith is small. Trusting Jesus, that is all. Trusting as the moments fly. Trusting as the days go by. Trusting thee, whatever befalls. Trusting Jesus, that is all. Church people are proud of me.
And that is all. That is all, guys. And that is all. Today's edition, and thank you guys for staying with us. You can catch a repeat of this whole show at 11 p.m. today on TV. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
It's Mr. Drew. Hey girl, baby, let me take you for a ride. I know you bad, but me, I don't mind. Many girls, but me, I don't like. Me too many.
From the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.